remember, we started with GST, reminder part of GST, right? So within taxation, right, we started with goods and services tax. That is, what are the features? What are the features of GST? We made a revision of the features. Do you remember this? Dual taxation structure, right? Basically, the concept of integrated GST, the GST Council, etc., etc. The features of GST. Again, we had discussed it day for yesterday, but we basically revised it. And within features, we started with basically the idea of compensation, certain important factors, or let's say points related to compensation. I told you day for yesterday, we discussed that compensation was announced by the government of India, that is basically under the GST for a period of 5 years. Once the GST will come into force, for 5 years, the government announced a compensation. And the reason of compensation was very simple, a revenue shortfall. So after 5 years, right, why has government of India continued to impose the GST compensation cess? Government has borrowed, right? Because of pandemic, government was forced to borrow and basically provide this money in the form of revenue shortfall to the states. Then yesterday we have discussed, right, other important factors related to GST. For example, GST network. GST network. What is the role of the GST network? Right, that is basically the concept of right, basically the concept of providing the services for the stakeholders in the economy. It is a non-profit organization. Ownership is 50% with the government and 50% with the states, etc., etc. Then we have discussed National Anti-Profiteering Authority, NAA, National Anti-Profiteering Authority. NAA was established by the government in order to address that there is no profiteering activities conducted by the sellers in the market. Now, NAA had a sunset clause of 2 years. Later, it was extended by 2 more years. Now, it has been extended by 1 more year. They are saying that we will bring all these cases under NAA to Competition Commission of India. Then we will close the NAA. So these are certain important points. After that, we have discussed, right, what are the concerns related to GST? What are the important concerns related to GST? For example, compliance burden has become higher. The revenue protection has become a problem. There are various goods, right, which are out of the ambit of GST as of now. We need to bring them, right, under the GST, etc., etc. So these are some of the things that we have discussed under the concept of GST. Then after that, certain other concepts. That is, for example, we have discussed tax to GDP ratio, tax buoyancy, tax elasticity, tax expenditure. These are the important concepts that we have covered under the concept of taxation. Then what are the overall issues in taxation system in India? What are the overall issues related to taxation system in India? Right, for example, lot of tax avoidance or tax evasion happens. Tax to GDP ratio is lower because of avoidance and evasion and the tax expenditure. Then there is issues related to GST that we need to bring under the ambit of, we need to address the issues related to GST, right? So on and so forth. What are the various issues addressing or problems related to taxation structure? And finally, we have covered a concept of a curve, a Laffer curve. Arthur Laffer has provided this, right? Basically, the concept of a Laffer curve. Please remember, it is a downward U curve, right? Or inverted U curve, which says with higher tax rate, the amount of taxes collected will start increasing, but not perpetually, not always. After optimal tax rate, the tax revenues will not increase, it will start falling down. And that is the theory given by Mr. Arthur Laffer, famously referred as a Laffer curve. In addition to this, we also have discussed a concept of transparent taxation. Idea of transparent taxation, honoring the honest, transparent taxation. Right, under this, we have discussed yesterday concept of faceless assessment, faceless appeal, and taxpayer charter. So these are the important things that we have covered yesterday related to concept of taxes. Done. Now, after that, we started with banking, correct? We started with banking. And in banking, we started with the concept of money, right? What is money? Money is nothing but mode of exchange or mode of payment. Anything that we use for conducting transactions in the market, for making payment in the market, it is called as money. I said yesterday, basically, we discussed two types of money. One is a fiat money. Fiat money is that money, the value of which is derived because of order of the government. Government through the order will provide value to the money. For example, I said currency coins in India and currency notes in India. Any currency coin or currency note, why does it have value in India? Because government has given value through order, right? Apart from this, we also discuss the concept of commodity money. Commodity money. Commodity money is basically a type of money where commodity is actually used. For example, silver coins were used earlier, gold coins were used earlier, bronze coins were used earlier, shells, beads, etc. Different type of commodities have been used as a mode of payment, hence called as commodity money. Now, please understand one more point I want to connect regarding commodity money here. Commodity money is very closely related to barter system. The statement is there here. Please make an observation. Commodity money is closely related to the barter system. Now, why do we say it is very closely related to barter system? Barter system basically means I'm selling A to purchase B. Very simple. I'm selling A to purchase B. For example, I'm selling, let's say, coconuts, and in return, I might want to purchase, let's say, right, certain products such as, let's say, horses. All of you agree? You can equate anything for there. For by the way, okay, you can equate anything. It is basically exchange of goods and services with right goods and services. That's it. Right, goods and services will be exchanged with goods and services. So I will be selling A to purchase B. This is basically a concept of a barter system. But there is a problem with the barter system. Inherently or fundamentally, there is a problem with the barter system. What is the problem? If I want to sell A and I want to purchase B, don't you think in the market I will have to search for somebody who is willing to sell A and who is willing to sell B and purchase A? Any problem with the statement here? Please do let me know. I want to sell A and purchase B, right? That is, I want to sell coconuts and I want to purchase horses. So in the market, I will have to find out somebody who is willing to sell B and purchase A. This is basically the concept of double coincidence of want. Meaning, if there is anybody in the market, think of this, right? I want to sell coconut, I want to purchase horses. So there is let's say one person who wants to purchase coconut, but that person wants to sell donkeys. Can you conduct transaction with that person? No, because you want to purchase horses. Or else, let's say, assume there is one more person who is willing to sell horses, but this person wants to purchase mangoes. Can you conduct transaction with this person? Of course, no. So there is a problem with this barter system. That is fundamentally the idea is that you should have double coincidence of want. Right? That is whatever you want to sell, the opposite person should be willing to purchase it. And whatever you want to buy, the opposite party should be willing to sell it. Only then in the barter system, these kind of transactions will take place. And there is one more problem with the barter system. Please understand this. If there is a vegetable instead of coconut, imagine there is a vegetable. Do you think vegetable can sustain for a longer duration? Can you store vegetables for a longer duration? No. Can I simply say these have very shorter shelf life? These have very shorter shelf life. Very shorter shelf life means these will be spoiled very soon. These become unfit for consumption very soon. In that case, don't you think, right, the barter system will force you to, right, dispose of, sell of the products as soon as possible. But on the other side, think of this. On the other side, if you don't sell, waste. You will not get anything. But on the other side, if you use money, such as, let's say, fiat money. Now, please tell me, can I sell vegetables and purchase, right, money in return? Purchase in the sense, get money in return. And maybe after 3 days, after 5 days, after 10 days, after 20 days, can I use money to purchase any other good or service in the market? Does it make sense to you? Right? Can I use this money to purchase anything else in the market? Now think of it. In barter system, can I store the value of a vegetable for a longer duration? Let me know. In the barter system, can we store the value of the product for a longer duration? No. But in case of money, can we store the value for longer duration? Correct? In money, that is a fiat money, can we store the money value for a longer duration? Of course, yes. Right? So basically argument is, right, in case of barter system, storage of value was very difficult. Whereas in money system, right, in money now, that is a fiat money, you can store the value for a longer duration. Okay. Now, let me go to the third type, fiduciary money, and the fourth type, commercial bank money. Fiduciary money and commercial bank money. What do you mean by fiduciary money? Let me start with an example. Imagine you have a shop. I will come to your shop, purchase a goods, and while making payment, I will issue a check to you. Simple question now. I'll repeat the process again. You are a shop owner, right? Again, a very, very big shop owner. Don't take it as a criticism, right? You have a very big shop. I'll come to you. I'll purchase certain goods, and while making a payment, I will issue a check. Please tell me the answer to this question. Is there any compulsion on you to accept the payment in the form of check? Question number one. Is there any compulsion on you to accept the payment in the form of a check? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. There is no compulsion on you. Right? Question number two. Instead of making a payment in the check, imagine I will take out 500 rupee currency note, use it for the payment. Now, is there a compulsion on you to accept this mode of a payment? Let me know. Is there compulsion on you to accept this mode of a payment, that is 500 rupee cash? Right? You cannot deny, you cannot simply say, no, I will not accept 500 rupee note. You cannot say that. If you want to accept the payment of 500, you will have to accept in the form of cash. Because please understand, cash has been declared as a legal tender in India. This cash has been declared as a legal tender in India. What do you mean by legal tender? The money that will be used for settlement of transactions. Is it okay? What do you mean by legal tender? Legal tender simply means the money that will be used for settlement of transactions. I will purchase certain goods from you. I will have to pay money, right? This is the legal tender. But on the other side, why do we say check? Right? There is no compulsion. I repeat, there is no compulsion. It is entirely up to you. You can accept a 500 rupee payment in the form of a keys. UPI is there, make a payment. I have a debit card scanner, right? Or right swiping machine. Please give me a debit card or give me cash. I will accept cash as well. Reason is simple. The cash is a legal tender. Checks are not legal tender. Now, can I also say, right? Second important point here. Can I also say that this check payment you will accept a certain times because you might have very high confidence on the buyer. Think of it. The check payment you will accept certain times. It's not that every time you will deny. You will accept in certain cases because you have very high confidence on the buyer. Meaning, if both of us are neighbors, if both of us are involved in lot of transactions, day in, day out, we'll keep on buying from each other. In such cases, because you have very high confidence on me, will you not accept the payment in the form of check? Of course, yes. But again, is there any compulsion? Is there any compulsion on you to accept it in only in the form of check? Absolutely no. So understand this. This is an example of a fiduciary money or a bank money. Now, question number three, if I'm issuing a check to you, from whom did I get this check? The checkbook I'm talking about. If I'm issuing a check to you, from whom did I get this checkbook? I have got this checkbook from the bank. Some of you are saying government. No, bank. Bank, I got the checkbook from the bank. That is, in a bank, I have got an account. And because I've kept money in the bank account, the bank has issued a checkbook to me. Now, please understand this. Usually, these are not declared as a legal tender by the government. Confidence, value depends on the confidence shown by the acceptor. Whether this checkbook will have value, whether this check will have value in the market or not, it is a dependent on the acceptor. Acceptor, in this case, you are the acceptor. Third one, issuer promises to exchange this with fiat money. I've given a check of 500 rupees to you. What will happen next? What will happen next? You will take it, go to the bank, deposit the check. Will you not get fiat money? Let me know. Will you not get fiat money? You will deposit this in the bank. You will get the fiat money. Bank will give you 500 rupees. So example of these are checks as well as a demand draft. Right? The checks as well as a demand draft. Then these are some of the very important points regarding fiduciary money or bank money. Now, some of you are asking these kind of questions. Why is this not a legal tender? My dear, I will issue a check to you. Instead of giving a cash of 500, I'll give a check of 500 rupees to you. You will go to the bank, deposit that check in the bank, and the bank manager says, sorry, this person doesn't have any money in the bank account. Have you heard of check bounce cases? Let me know. Have you heard of check bounce cases or not? Right? If this is a legal tender, now tell me what will happen to check bounce cases. Will they be very high or not? Everybody will start making a payment in the form of a check only. What is the guarantee that money is there in my account? What is the guarantee? There is absolutely no guarantee. Right? So these are called as fiduciary money or bank money. Okay? What about demand draft? Demand drafts are basically those instruments which are issued by the bank for conducting transactions. Earlier, they used to use it. For example, imagine you want to get into engineering college. The engineering college would simply say, go to a bank, get me a demand draft of 50,000 rupees. So you will go to a bank, deposit 50,000 plus certain charges. Bank will give you an instrument worth 50,000. You will take it, deposit with the engineering college. And engineering college will again take that, deposit with the bank. They would get 50,000 rupees. Earlier, it was very, very famous. Now they are not using it much. Okay, now next one, commercial bank money. Commercial bank money. Now, what is this commercial bank money? Commercial bank money, please understand, this is the money which is created by the banks under fractional reserve system. This is the money which is created by the banks under the concept of fractional reserve system. Now, what is this concept of fractional reserve system? Follow this very carefully. Just an example, please do not by heart this table. Do not waste your time. Do not by heart this table. Let's say step 1, A has 100 rupee. A will go to bank 1, deposit 100 rupee. Deposit 100 rupee. A simple question to you. What do you think? Should the bank be allowed to use all the 100 rupee to give loans in the market? Think of it and think rationally. Please think rationally. If bank A will receive 100 rupee, should the bank be provided a facility to use all the 100 rupee to give loan? And don't ask me, sir, why is the bank giving loan? Right? I hope you understand. One of the functions of the bank is to give loan only. One of the function of bank is to give only. Right? So understand the logic here. Bank 1 will be asked to keep aside certain reserve. Reserve means don't use all the money. Keep a certain amount on the side. Don't use it. Now, I'll simply assume reserve is 10%. Let's assume reserve is 10%. Now, out of 100 rupee, reserve is 10% means bank has to keep aside 10 rupee. Remaining 90 rupees, can I say bank will issue this in the form of loan to company X? Let me know. Right? Bank 1 will issue 90 rupees in the form of loan to company X. Now, what will the company do? company will purchase, right, let's say certain raw material from another company B. Now B has received this 90 rupees. What will the B do? B will take 90 rupees, deposit in the second bank. So bank 2 receives 90 rupees. Again, 10% it will keep on the side in the form of reserves and use the remaining amount to give loan to company Y. Now we can go step by step like this, 7 steps, 8 steps alike. But don't worry, please tell me. Simple question to all of you, please tell me. In this example, in the second step, bank 2 has given a loan of 81 rupees. How many of you think that bank 2 has printed 81 rupees? Let me know. How many of you believe that bank 2, right, is printing 81 rupees? Is it printing 81 rupees or is it simply using the money that is there in the system and creating loans in the system? Let me know. Is a bank 2 printing money or it is simply taking the money which is already there in the system and creating a loan in the system? All of you will agree it is creating credit. Any problem here? It is creating credit. For those of you who are asking, RBI prints money in India. RBI prints money. Banks are not allowed to print money. You and me are not allowed to print money. RBI will print money. We'll go to that in some time. Have patience. So any problem in this system? The banks are creating loans. The banks are creating credit. This process of creation of credit, I repeat, this process of creation of credit, it is called as a commercial bank money. This process of creation of credit, it is referred to as commercial bank money. For example, please have a look at it and tell me how much is the money that has been printed and issued by the system, or let's say RBI and Government of India. I'll come to that. Notes are printed by RBI, coins are minted by government. How much is the right currency which has been printed now? 100 rupee. But because of this 100 rupee, in 2 steps, just in 2 steps, have a look at this. Because of this 100 rupee, just in 2 steps, right, how much money has been created? How much is the total money loans that has been created? 90 rupee in step 1, 81 rupee in second step. So only in 2 steps, how much loans have been created? 171 rupee worth of loans have been created. And don't you think this system will continue? Let me know. Don't you think this system will continue? That is in the third step, loan of, I'll just round off. Loan of 73 rupee has been issued. Now company Z will use it for something else. Right? Company Z will use it for something else. Let's say they will use it to purchase a machine. So now the seller of machine will receive the money, again put it back in the bank. Now this bank will use the money to give loan again. So this cycle will keep on continuing in the economy. So this process of credit creation is called as a commercial bank money. Any problem with this? And please remember, we are not printing money in this example. Please remember that we are not printing money. We are simply creating loans. This loan creation is called as a commercial bank money. Right? So this process will keep on going. Right? It will not stop. From bank 3, loan will be issued. Money might enter into bank 4. Bank 4 will again issue loans. Money might enter into bank 5. Bank 5 will issue loans. Money might enter into bank 6. It's a cycle. It will keep on happening in the economy. Right? This is called as a commercial bank money. So we have discussed 4 types of monies here. We have discussed 4 types of money. That is basically, one is commodity money, where commodity itself will be used in the form of money. Second one is a fiat money, where through the order of the government, money is given value. Third one is bank money or fiduciary money, where the value of the money depends on the acceptor, and these are issued by the banks. And the fourth one, commercial bank money, where credit creation, I repeat, credit creation happens right by the banking sector, which is called as commercial bank money. Done? Now let me enter into the banking structure. Let me enter into banking structure. Now, at the top of banking structure in India, we have the most important authority in India, regulator of the banking sector, Reserve Bank of India. And those who are asking what is the long form of RBI, it is there right in front of you in a slide. Please observe. Reserve Bank of India, RBI. Now, RBI will regulate all the commercial banks in India. RBI will regulate all the commercial banks in India. What do you mean by commercial banks? Please remember, any bank that is doing mainly two functions. Mainly means what? There will be other functions also, but mainly two functions. Commercial banks conduct mainly two functions. One is collect deposits and give loans. Collect deposits from companies, from people, etc., and provide loans. These are called as commercial banks. These are mainly involved, right, in these two functions. Now, I am saying mainly involved again and again. Please understand this. Whenever you talk about a bank, you can have these kind of a distinguishing two types of banks. One is called as a universal bank. Second one is called as a niche bank. Or else these are also called as differentiated banks. Niche banking or differentiated banking. Now, what is the basic difference between a universal bank or a differentiated bank? Whenever you talk about bank, there could be two types of functions. We generally divide them into primary functions and secondary functions. Primary and secondary. Primary functions means collect deposits from the people and give loans. They will use the term loans or advances, one and the same. Okay, collect deposits and give loans. And secondary functions, have you heard of locker facility? Please do let me know. Have you heard of locker facility? And I'm actually surprised that there are certain students in the classroom who do not even hear these kind of terms. There was one student earlier when I was discussing the concept of a checkbook. The student asked a question, sir, is checkbook and passbook one and the same? I'm actually surprised. Right? The question was, sir, is the checkbook and passbook one and the same? How? Don't you have a bank account? Right? Whatever you're doing, don't you have a bank account? Right? That is basically an account where you're keeping money in the bank. And when you have a bank account, right, is it not possible that you have received one book which is called as a checkbook by the bank and another book which says a passbook where entries are written, entries are printed and given to you? Passbook is basically a book where all your transactions are recorded. Passbook is different, checkbook is different. So locker facility, what about gold loans? What about insurance facility? What about insurance facility, etc.? Now, please understand, historically, banks are mainly associated with primary functions. Historically, right, banks are associated with the primary functions, that is, collect money and give loans. These are the most important functions of a bank. Whereas over a period of time, secondary functions also have been developed. Right? Some of the banks will provide facilities with insurance facility to you. Some banks will provide locker facility to you. Some banks will provide forex transactions facilities, that is, convert your rupees into dollar into rupees, etc. All these are referred as a secondary functions. Now come to the point here. Whenever you talk about universal bank, they will conduct a primary plus a secondary. Whenever you talk about universal banks, they will conduct both primary plus a secondary. And whenever you talk about differentiated banks, only few of the functions few of the functions will be conducted by these banks. Let me give a very simple example here. It is already there in the slide. We'll discuss it separately. There is a type of a bank which is promoted now by Reserve Bank of India, Payment Bank. Now, don't ask what is a payment bank, right? Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll discuss that. Don't worry. We'll discuss it separately. There's a bank by the name of Payment Bank, right? For example, Airtel Payment Bank, Paytm Payment Bank, right? India Post Payment Bank. Now, what is the basic concept? One feature related to payment bank. Payment banks are not allowed to provide loans. Not allowed to lend. Payment banks are not allowed to lend. Now, please understand and let me know. Can I say because of certain restrictions or the kind of functions payment banks are doing, these are not universal banks? Let me know. At least now it should be clear to you. Because of certain restrictions or very few of the functions that these kind of banks will do, that is a payment bank. Payment bank is not a universal bank. It will not provide all the primary and secondary functions. On the other side, what about State Bank of India? Let me know. What about State Bank of India? Right? Look at the features. Look at the services provided by State Bank of India. Right? Don't you think State Bank of India, whatever I've written on the slide, primary plus secondary, SBI will provide all of them. Can you have a locker facility? Right? Can you open a locker? Have a locker in SBI? Of course, yes. Can you, right, approach SBI and get insurance, various types of insurance services? Yes. Can you get loan from SBI? Yes. Can you keep money with SBI? Yes. So one is universal, second one is a differentiated bank. Now that is the reason I'm saying commercial banks. Commercial banks, generally, what is the meaning of it? Traditionally, the idea is commercial banks are those banks which are collecting deposits and they are giving loans. And all of these will come under the regulation of Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India. Now, commercial banks are further divided into two parts. These are further divided into two parts. And before that, all these commercial banks will be covered under Banking Regulation Act. Please remember this point. All of these commercial banks will be covered under Banking Regulation Act. BRA, Banking Regulation Act. Okay. Now, commercial banks are further divided into two parts, scheduled commercial banks and non-scheduled commercial banks. Please have a look at examples of scheduled commercial banks. Don't start asking questions about cooperative now. Don't start asking questions on payment bank. We will discuss all of them separately. We'll discuss all of them separately. Don't worry. Public sector banks, private sector banks, regional rural banks, cooperative banks, payment banks, small finance banks, all these we'll discuss separately. Now, what do you mean by scheduled commercial banks? Remember this, there is an act called as Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934. Please tell me, have I used the term RBI Act earlier? Let me know. Where, in what context have I used, right? Let me see how many of you are revising. Have I used RBI Act of 1934 earlier? I've used it where? Flexible inflation targeting. FIT. I've written this in the slide also. Check it. Flexible inflation targeting. And the point I was trying to make earlier under flexible inflation targeting is that whatever is the function of RBI, all the functions, they will derive it from Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934. Whatever is the function, whatever is the role, right? What is the composition of RBI? How many members should be there in the RBI? What policy should be implemented by RBI? In which area? Everything will come from RBI Act of 1934. Now, why I'm mentioning RBI Act of 1934? Within RBI Act of 1934, there is a Schedule 2. Within RBI Act of 1934, there is a Schedule 2. Schedule is basically divisions. Under Schedule 2 of RBI Act of 1934, those banks which are registered. I'll repeat the statement here. Under Schedule 2 of RBI Act of 1934, those banks which are registered, these are called as scheduled commercial banks. SCBs, scheduled commercial banks. And those banks which are not registered under Schedule 2 of RBI Act, these are called as non-scheduled commercial banks. And basically the difference is that whenever you talk about scheduled commercial banks, these can always approach RBI and keep on borrowing from RBI. RBI is always very much receptive towards functioning of scheduled commercial banks. Now, many of you will start asking me, sir, any example of a non-scheduled commercial bank? This is a list from Reserve Bank of India's website. RBI has a list of all the non-scheduled commercial banks. This is the list. Just for the sake of information, I've given the list. Please do not by heart. UPSC will not ask you this. Please do not by heart the list of non-scheduled commercial bank. And moreover, please look at examples of scheduled as well as non-scheduled. Please tell me who plays the most important role in banking sector in India. Let me see how much is your general knowledge. Forget about economics. I'm just testing your general knowledge. Just make observations regarding scheduled as well as non-scheduled commercial banks. And based on that itself, right, I'm pretty sure all of you will say, sir, it is the scheduled commercial banks which will control most of the banking in India. Non-scheduled, fractional, just a part of banking sector. It is mainly the scheduled commercial banks which play the most important role in case of banking sector in India. Done? So this is a structure. Individually we'll go into all of them. Don't start asking questions on all of them right now. Now, let's start. Reserve Bank of India. Very, very important. Very, very important. Right? I'll show you questions later. You can also check it. Lot of questions annually will be asked from banking sector. Around 2 to 3 questions will come from RBI. Now, let's start. Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India was set up based on the recommendation of a committee, Hilton Young Committee. Now, the recommendation was given before independence, and as a result of this, from the 1st of April 1935, RBI was established and RBI started operating in India. To begin with, Reserve Bank of India initially was located in Calcutta, and you know historical reasons, right? I hope you know this. Basic history. Initially, it was set up, operated from Calcutta, and later got shifted in 1937 to Mumbai. And since 1937, Reserve Bank of India as a headquarters is located, RBI is located in Mumbai itself. Now, initially, RBI was owned by individual investors. That is not the government. Private investors were owning Reserve Bank of India. But in 1949, Reserve Bank of India was nationalized. In 1949, RBI was nationalized, and since 1949, it is owned by Government of India itself. Today, 100% of RBI is owned by Government of India. Right, so these are certain important points regarding introduction of Reserve Bank of India. Now, let me enter into the details. Important points, we'll go one by one. Please remember all of these. All of these are very important. The powers, composition, the functions, the objective for Reserve Bank of India, all of them will come from RBI Act of 1934. For example, Section 3, right? It talks about incorporation, establishment of Reserve Bank of India. Section 4 talks about capital of the bank. Now, please understand, whenever you come across the term capital in the banking sector, capital simply refers to the money that is there with the bank. Understand this. The capital of the bank simply refers to the money that is there with the bank. Right? Section 4 talks about the capital that is there with RBI. Section 7, please remember this. The government, after consulting RBI, I repeat, the government, after consulting RBI, will issue certain instruction to Reserve Bank of India. And now, whatever instruction is given to RBI under Section 7, RBI has to follow it. RBI must follow it. Why this is important? Please, focus on this. Please focus on this. What do you think? RBI should work, right? RBI should work independent of Government of India, or RBI should simply follow what is the viewpoint of Government of India? Think of it and answer to me. What is your opinion? Should RBI work independent of Government of India, or should RBI simply follow whatever Government of India says? Should RBI simply follow what Government of India says? Answer is no. Please understand, answer is absolutely no. Don't say, sir, partly this, partly that. Don't have that viewpoint. RBI is a very important organization. Trust me on this. RBI is a very, very important organization. RBI cannot simply blindly follow what Government of India says. Why? Right? I'll give a very simple example. Tell me, between inflation and growth, think of this. Between inflation and growth, what do you think will be the primary target for Government of India? Think of this. Between inflation and growth, think rationally. For Government of India, what will be the primary agenda, primary target for Government of India? Primary target for Government of India is always growth. Don't say inflation. For RBI, it is inflation. For RBI, it is inflation. For Government of India, it will always a target growth. If you don't trust me, look at what the current government talks about. Look at what the previous governments have talked about. Look at what 1990s government has talked about. They will always target growth. They'll keep on saying GDP, 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 GDP. Every government will talk about growth only. And whenever inflation crosses beyond control, maybe then they will say, we will do something to control inflation. And now, right, please understand, if primary objective, I repeat, primary objective, I'm not saying this is the only objective, I'm saying primary objective. If primary objective for government is always growth, right, don't you think at least RBI should think independently and keep on having policies to control inflation? Yes or no? Does it make sense to you? If Government of India's agenda is to drive growth, don't you think RBI's agenda should be to control inflation? So now, at least now, do you think, right, government, whatever government says, RBI should simply follow this? No, RBI should not do that. RBI is a very important organization in the economy. RBI plays a very important role in driving growth. You'll understand in some time. RBI will play a very important role in creation of employment. RBI does a very important role in managing forex, that is dollar to rupee, rupee to dollar exchange rate. So RBI does not follow simply whatever Government of India says. But is there any provision under RBI using which government can make RBI to listen to Government of India? Yes, there is a provision, Section 7. Under Section 7, after consulting RBI, if Government of India says, please do this, then RBI does not have any option. They will have to follow the directive given by Government of India. So Section 7 is very, very important. Please remember that. Section 8, composition of Central Board of Directors. Composition of Central Board of Directors, right? What is the Central Board of Directors? It is a decision-making authority. Whatever the decisions of RBI, they will come from Central Board of Directors. Right? What is the composition? Just give me a minute. Otherwise, let me finish it. This is the composition of Central Board of Directors. Right? That is, there are totally 21 people. Maximum 21 people. Composition is maximum 21. Right? I'll just give you a simple way to remember it. Slightly tricky. Please remember this. 1, 4, 10, 4, 1. Total will become 20. Add one more. Simple. Right? So what is the composition of Central Board of Directors? 1, 4, 10, 4, 1. Right? Mirror image. Right? I hope you know what I'm trying to convey to you people is it's basically a mirror image. But one side you add one extra. right? On the other side, you add one extra. What is this? One is, right, basically the RBI governor. First one is RBI governor. Next four are deputy governors. 10 are experts. Four, right, one person from local boards. These are the four local boards. One person from the local board will be present in the central board of director. Right, a final two, that is one is the finance secretary and the last one is economic affairs secretary. Now all of these are appointed by government of India. All of them are appointed by government of India, right? So governor, who appoints a governor? Government of India. Deputy governors, government of India. Experts, government of India. Local boards are basically present in the economy, that is at four places RBI set up offices which are called as local boards. And if you ask me, sir, why four local boards, please look at the places, automatically you'll understand. Let me know, are these four places historically important for us? Let me know, are these four places historically, right? Go back to your high school, right? Historically important for us. That is the reason in these four places we have four local boards. Right, from these four local board, one person will be representing in the central board of directors. And apart from that, in many other cities, RBI has offices generally called as RBI offices, such as Bangalore, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Jammu, Kanpur, etc. Right, so this is basically the organization structure of RBI. So it is a central board of directors which plays the most important role within RBI, and this is basically the authority which will take decisions, right, for Reserve Bank of India. Done? Right, so this is section 8. Section 17, business carried out by RBI. What kind of activities RBI is supposed to do? For example, all of you will agree when I say RBI is very, very important in terms of having money. Think of it. All of you will agree RBI has lot of money. Now, can RBI invest in real estate? Think of it. Can RBI invest in real estate? The RBI Act says no, you cannot do that. Can RBI produce goods and services, start selling goods and services? Right? So RBI Act says no, it will not be allowed. Done? So understand this, whatever business RBI is supposed to conduct, whatever businesses RBI supposed to conduct, it will be dictated under section 17. Section 21, RBI must conduct banking affairs for the central government and also manage public debt. We have not come across term public debt. Today you will understand, don't worry. How does RBI help government of India? What do you mean by RBI has to conduct business of government of India? Today we will discuss that. Have patience. Section 22. RBI has exclusive rights to issue currency notes in India. Very important. Section 22 talks about exclusive right of RBI to issue currency notes in India. Right? For example, who will print currency notes in India? RBI. Who will decide how many currency notes have to be printed? RBI will report to Finance Ministry, send a report, get the approval, RBI will print currency notes. So it is the role of RBI, right? One of the very important functions of RBI, wherein only RBI is allowed to print currency notes and issue them in the market. Okay. Section 47, transfer of surplus. We'll discuss this also separately. Don't worry. What do you mean by surplus? Right? Why it is so important, etc. I'll tell this later. Done. So these are some of the sections. My recommendation, if you ask me, my recommendation is based on the current affairs. Based on current affairs, right? Try to remember some of these sections. For example, many of you ask me, sir, how? How do I understand current affairs? For example, think of this. Was 2000 rupee note, was it in discussion? Let me know. The concept of 2000 rupee note, was it in discussion recent times? Of course, yes, it was there in the discussion. It was very much there in the discussion. Right, so now question can be not about 2000 rupee note. Question can be on section 22. Because who has the right to print a 2000 rupee note in India? Only RBI. Right? And before this 2000 rupee issue happened, there was a statement given by Delhi's chief minister. We should start printing the photos of Hindu gods on currency notes. Have you come across that statement? Again, more of a political argument. Don't use that in the exam. Right? The chief minister of Delhi government stated that we should start printing Lord Ganesha's photo on currency note, goddess Lakshmi's photo on currency note, so that Indian economy will start performing better. Now, there is no proof to, right, basically indicate that photos of gods on currency notes will promote Indian economy. And he is not the first person to actually say that in India. There were many earlier, there are many politicians who have recommended it. But please understand the point I'm trying to make here. Can government alone decide what will be the design of currency notes? No, it is basically the Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India will design a currency note, send it, right? Send it to the government, get their approval, and then start printing new currency notes. So that is the precise reason I'm saying, based on the current affairs, try to remember certain sections. UPSC can trick you, can ask you these kind of questions. Done? Now, right, what are the functions of RBI? What are the functions of RBI? What are the functions of RBI? Let's go point by point. First one is RBI is one of the very important functions is to control inflation. Did we discuss this earlier? Please have a look at the point I've written in the bracket here. Did we discuss this concept earlier? Don't say, sir, no. Then I'll ask you to go back to inflation chapter, open it, you will see it. So, one of the functions of Reserve Bank of India is to control inflation. So, I'll directly jump to the second now. I'll directly jump to the second function, printing of currency notes. Printing of currency notes. Now, certain important points. Currency can be in the form of notes, can be in the form of coins. Currency can be in the form of, right, that is money, can be in the form of coins, can be in the form of, right, currency notes. I'm using the term currency notes. Some books will use the term currency bills. Do not get confused. I'll repeat it again. I'm using the term currency notes. Some books, right, or in the exam, they might suddenly use the term currency bills. Don't get confused. Do not be confused at all. In some of the countries, the notes are referred to as bills. Is it okay? For example, in USA, they'll say $50 bill. In India, we say 50 rupee note. In USA, they will say, right, a $50 bill, $100 bill, $1 bill. In India, we say 100 rupee note, 50 rupee note, right, 1 rupee note, etc. That's a basic idea. Okay, so currency notes or currency bills or currency coins. Next important point, currency notes are printed by RBI. Printed by RBI. Currency notes are printed by RBI except 1 rupee note. Except 1 rupee note. Now, why 1 rupee note is not printed by RBI? 1 rupee note is actually printed by Government of India, specifically within Government of India, Finance Ministry. Finance Ministry will print 1 rupee note and they will give it to RBI. RBI will circulate it in the economy. The reason being, please understand the next point, coins are minted and the minting of the coins is done by Government of India. Coins are minted and minting of the coins is done by Government of India. And for all purposes, remember this point, for all purposes, 1 rupee note is counted as 1 rupee coin. I'll repeat the statement here. Right, for all the purposes, the 1 rupee note is not counted as a currency note. It is counted as a part of coins. And that is a precise reason why 1 rupee note is printed by Finance Ministry and then given to government, then given to RBI for distribution purposes. Minting means producing. Minting means producing. Printing, don't ask me now what is the meaning of printing. Printing means printing, minting means producing. For example, if you have seen 1 rupee coin, it is made of steel. Steel has to be converted into a particular shape, production. So minting of the coins is done by Government of India. Printing of the notes is done by Reserve Bank of India. Now, next important point, all the coins which are minted are not for circulation purposes. Remember this particular point. All the coins which are minted, right, is not for circulation purposes. For example, you have 1 rupee coin. Do you use it for circulation purposes? Yes. You have a 5 rupee coin, right? Will you use it for circulation purposes? Yes. There are also other types of coins which are called as commemorative coins. There are also other types of coins which are called as commemorative coins. Now, please understand the concept behind commemorative coins. I'm talking about commemorative coins because it was there in the current affairs. What is current affairs? Have you read about coin of value 75 rupees issued by government very recently? Those are reading current affairs, they will know this. Government of India very recently issued a coin of denomination of 75 rupees. Is it a coin for circulation purposes? No, it is a commemorative coin. What do you mean by commemorative coin? These coins are issued to represent an event. That's it. These coins are issued to represent, to celebrate a particular event or to observe a particular event. For example, 75 rupee coin. It should not be difficult for you to understand what is the importance of 75 rupee coin. 75th year of independence, hence a 75 right rupee coin has been issued. But please understand the next point. There are various metals which have been used to manufacture this 75 rupee coin. For example, in manufacture of 75 rupee coin, certain amount of silver has been used. Certain amount of silver has been used to manufacture 75 rupee coin. Now, please tell me, if you look at the market price of the silver, don't you think what is the intrinsic value of the coin? It will be much, much higher than 75 rupee. I hope you understand this, right? Is only silver used? No, there are many other metals also. Silver is there, copper is there, zinc is there, etc. So don't you think when these kind of metals which are very costly are used in manufacturing of this coin, don't you think the intrinsic value of the coin will be much, much greater compared to what is the value of the coin? That is the precise reason these are sold at very, very high prices. These are not simply issued to the people for the usage purposes. These are auctioned. These are sold at much, much higher prices by the authorities. Right? I hope you understand this. All the coins are not for circulation purposes. Some of the coins are for commemorative purposes. Especially some of these commemorative coins will have a very, very high value, right? Not the face value. Face value is how much is printed on the coin, 75 rupee. But the intrinsic value of the coin will be much, much higher. Hence, these are auctioned. Hence, these are auctioned, sold at very high prices. It could be 5,000 rupees sold at 5,000. It could be sold at 10,000 rupee, etc. like this. Okay. Right. So these are certain important points regarding the currency notes and currency coins. Now, RBI prints currency notes and distributes these currency notes. Right now, any currency note that we are using, right? Any currency that we are using, these are called as Mahatma Gandhi series notes. I repeat, right now, any currency note that we are using, these are called as Mahatma Gandhi series notes. Why these are called as Mahatma Gandhi series notes, which were introduced from 1996? Do me a favor, open your purse, open your wallet, whatever it is, take out any currency note that you're having right now. Any currency note. Sir, I'm having 10 rupee note. Take it out. Sir, I'm having 50 rupee. Sir, I'm having 100 rupee. I'm having 500 rupee. Sir, I'm having 2000 rupee note which I want to deposit with bank today. Please take it out. Open it and see. Can you see the photo of Mahatma Gandhiji's in the currency note? Let me know. Right? Open the currency note and tell me, can you see the photo of Mahatma Gandhi ji on the currency note or not? These are called as Gandhi series. These are called as Gandhi series note. And some of the students are saying, sir, I don't have money. What should I do? My dear, go to Google then. Please go to Google and type 100 rupee note in India. You will see the picture of note. Right? You will see the picture of note and you will see, right? So you will see that there is Gandhiji's photo. These are called as Gandhi series note. Now, earlier what used to happen? Right? We introduced the concept of Gandhi series in 1996. Earlier, what used to happen? Right? I'm pretty sure, ask your parents, some of your parents would have these old currency note. In the old currency notes, there used to be photos of RBI's logo. In some of these currency notes, there used to be photos of RBI logo, or there used to be photo of satellite. There used to be a photo of Bengal tiger. There used to be a photo of farmer taking a plow to the field, etc., etc. Some of you might be having it. You will treasure it. You will basically keep it in a secret compartment of your wallet. Or some of your parents will have it. Please ask them. Right? Even if that is not possible, check online. You will see these kind of photos. But after 1996, we are not printing with these kind of logos. Today, we have only the photo of Mahatma Gandhi ji. That is the reason these are referred to as Gandhi series note. Okay. Now, where do we print currency notes in India? Where do we actually print currency notes in India? Right. One, Devas in Madhya Pradesh, Nasik in Maharashtra, Mysore in Karnataka, and the fourth one is in Salbani, that is there in West Bengal. So these are the four places where we actually print currency notes in India. The first two are owned by an entity called as Securities Printing and Minting Corporation of India Limited. Securities Printing and Minting Corporation of India Limited. And the next two are owned by BRB NMPL, Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudran Private Limited. The first one is owned by Government of India and the next one is owned by Reserve Bank of India. Now, some of you are asking, sir, should we remember this? My recommendation, please do. Please do. Why? Because of that 2000 rupee note issue, now all of these places have become very much relevant. I hope you understand. Because of that 2000 rupee note issue, all these places have become very much relevant. UPSC next year can ask you this kind of a question. Right? So these are certain very important points regarding the concept of the introduction to currency. Reserve Bank of India is responsible for printing and the distribution of currency notes. Government of India will mint coins, but the distribution of the coins is again done by Reserve Bank of India. Done. Can we go forward now? Can we go forward? Any issue with the printing of currency note? Let me know any issue with the printing of currency note. Sir, RBI is Indian authority, so we can print as much as and become rich country from other countries, remove poverty. Please tell me, my dear. Right? Very valid question. Sir, because RBI can print currency note, can we print as much as currency note and give it to poor people? My dear, if you keep on printing and supplying currency notes in the economy, will it not cause inflation? Think of it. And are there any examples in the past who have done it? Of course, yes, many countries have done it. Right? Many countries have done it. Right? They simply printed more money, gave it to people. Right? Gave it to people, thinking that people will get money, we will abolish, we will be able to address poverty. My dear, if you simply give money, do you think goods and services supply will increase at the same proportion? Think of it. You will give money, but does it mean that the supply of goods and services, right, supply will increase? No, it doesn't mean that. Then what will happen? Inflation will take place in the economy, which is much, much worse. This will create much more bigger problem in the economy. Okay, that is the reason we have a power to print currency, right? Because you're asking this question, let me address that here itself. Right? In what situation currencies are printed? Under what circumstances currencies are printed? First one, to replace old currency. to replace old currency notes. Right? What do you mean by old currency notes? You must have seen certain currency notes which are basically torn at 10 places. Correct or not? You must have received them. Next, you must have put it in a bulk of other currency note and given it to somebody else. Right? So there are a lot many currencies which are basically outdated. Outdated in the sense, these are unfit for circulation. In the market, people will not accept these currencies. So what will RBI do then? RBI will say, please go to the bank, deposit that old currency note and receive equivalent value from the bank. So to replace old currency note, RBI will print currency. Second one, to address the issue of counterfeit currency. Counterfeit currency. Counterfeit is nothing but fake currency. To address the issue of counterfeit currency or fake currency, don't you think old currency notes will have outdated security features? Think of it. Old currency note will have outdated security features. Security features means now you might be having a currency note with you. Please check. Across the currency note, is there a silver line, double silver line running like this? If you hold the currency note in a particular angle in the light, will you see 100 or 50 rupee, right, embedded here? If you turn around the currency note, there'll be a small gap, white gap here. Will you not see the shade of Mahatma Gandhi's photo in that particular white space? Right? Yes, you can check it later. Don't worry. You can check it later if you don't have the currency note. These are called as security features. These are called as security features. So if the currency note was printed back in 2000, we are in 2023, you will have outdated security features, which means it is very easy to create a counterfeit or fake currency note of old currency note. So RBI says, I will withdraw all the old currency notes, that is, which have outdated security features, and now I will issue new currency note. And these are some of the reasons. These are some of the reasons why RBI will print currency note. But before they actually conduct the printing of these currency note, what RBI will do is prepare a report, give it to Finance Ministry, take the approval, right? Take the approval from the Finance Ministry and then start printing the currency note. RBI governor doesn't, right, uniformly or unilaterally, RBI governor doesn't decide how much currency to be printed. I hope you understand. RBI governor cannot simply say that we have got printing presses, right? We are right having time now. There are so many people who are poor, so let's start printing currency and let's start giving it to poor people in India. No, RBI doesn't do that, right? So there is a lot of process involved, a lot of background work involved, even before the currency notes are printed. Done? Right? Now, next function, the banker to the government. Do you remember section 21? Right? Do you remember section 21? Right? What does section 21 RBI Act say? RBI Act says that under section 21, RBI is responsible for maintaining the public debt of Government of India. RBI is responsible for conducting the businesses of Government of India. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Let me explain this. RBI, please understand this. RBI, right, can give loans to Government of India. RBI can provide loans to Government of India. For example, have a look at this. Please have a look at this. There is a tool called as Ways and Means Advances. Ways and Means Advances. WMA. Ways and Means Advances. Under Ways and Means Advances, just a second, WMA. Under Ways and Means Advances, RBI for 90 days, will provide loans to the central government as well as the state governments. I'll repeat the statement here. Under Ways and Means Advances, RBI will provide up to 90 days loans to the central government or the state government. Right? This facility is available For certain amount of money, they can go to RBI and borrow from RBI. And who will decide how much will be the maximum amount under ways and means advances? RBI and central government, both through consultation, will decide what should be the maximum amount that RBI is allowed to give loan under ways and means advances. So now is it okay if I say RBI will provide loans? RBI will provide loans to the governments in India. Will they charge interest? Of course, yes, they will charge interest. There is a term called as a repo rate of interest. We'll discuss repo rate in some time. Have patience. Will RBI charge rate of interest? Of course, yes, RBI will charge a rate of interest on it. Second one, there's a term called as public debt. There is a term called as public debt. Let's start discussing this. Let's try and understand this very carefully now. Now, what is this concept of a public debt? Point number 3, all of you will agree if I say Government of India annually will come out with a budget under which government will announce how much expenditure they will incur and how much income they will collect in one financial year. Okay, anybody has a problem with this? Under budget, government says how much money they'll be spending this year and how much money they will be collecting this year. And please remember this, generally the expenditure is greater than the income earned by the government of India. I'll repeat it. Generally the expenditure earned is greater than expenditure done is greater than income earned for government of India. Which means if I want to give you numbers, imagine government of India wants to spend 100 crore rupee and it is earning only 80 crore rupees. Is it possible to spend 100 crore with 80 crore rupee? Not possible. There is a gap of 20 crore rupee. How do we take care of this gap of 20 crore? Government will borrow. Simple. Government will borrow. Now this is where RBI will come into picture. Point number 4. Government of India, whenever they want to borrow, they can go to external market. They can go to external market. External market means they can go to World Bank and borrow. They can go to IMF and borrow. They can go to USA government, take a loan. They can go to BRICS Bank, New Development Bank, take a loan. Or they can also borrow from internal sources. They can also borrow from internal sources. Now have a look at this. When I say internal sources, one of the very important way to borrow from internal sources is by issuing a bond. Simple, by issuing bond. Again, bond is a very narrow term. Instead of bond, I'll say by issuing government securities. By issuing government securities. Now, what is this concept of a bond? What do you mean by government securities? Let me start with the term bond. Understand all these concepts right carefully. All these are very, very important. Let me start with the concept of a bond. Now, bond is nothing but a debt instrument. Just let me know, did we discuss bond earlier? Tell me, did we discuss the concept of a bond earlier? I think I've discussed it. I'll tell you the context also. Inflation. Questions in inflation. Some of you are saying no. Please look at the questions in inflation. I'm pretty sure I've discussed it. Right? One of the previous year question, there was a question, inflation will benefit. Inflation will benefit the borrower or inflation will benefit the lender. So bond is a debt instrument. Point number 1, bond is a debt instrument. Anybody has a problem with this? Right? Bond is a debt instrument. Bond is a debt instrument which is used for borrowing purposes. Bond can be issued by the companies. Bond can be issued by the companies. Bonds can be issued even by the government. Both can issue bonds. Government can also issue bond. Companies can also issue bond. Point number 3, I'll come back to this. Point number 3, please understand this. Whenever they issue bonds, can you see the pictures here? Let me know. Are you able to see the pictures? Whenever they issue the bond, the issuer becomes a borrower and the investor in the bond becomes a bondholder or the creditor. Point number 4. Whenever a bond is issued, on the bond, certain returns are paid by the issuer. I'll repeat the point here. Whenever the bonds are issued, certain returns are paid by the issuer. What is the return called here? The return, normally we use the term interest rate. In the context of the bond, this is called as a coupon rate. Normally we call the term interest rate, but in case of the bond, we use the term coupon rate. For example, imagine government will issue a bond to you, and annually government says, I will give you coupon rate of 6%. Can I say interest rate on the bond is nothing but 6%? Anybody has a problem with this statement? If government will issue a bond to you, and right, they will collect, let's say, 100 rupees from you, and they'll say annually I'll give you 6%. Can I say interest rate that you're going to earn on this bond will be 6%? Can I go forward? Anybody has a problem with this statement? Please do let me know right now. After 1 hour, don't ask me what is interest rate, what is coupon rate. Coupon rate is nothing but interest rate on a bond. Now, when government says, I will give you 6%, 6% of what? Right? Please be aware of this point. If government says, I will give you 6% coupon rate, 6% interest rate, 6% of what? 6% of face value. Remember this. 6% of face value of the bond. Now, what do you mean by face value? I've given you 3 examples of a bond here. Please look at it and tell me what is the monetary value, what is the price return on all these 3 bonds. Let me know. This is example 1, this is example 2, and this is example 3. In case of example 3, can I say face value of the bond is 10 rupee? Let me know. Example 3, face value is 10 rupee. Anybody has a problem? In case of example 2, the face value is 110 rupee. Face value is 110 rupee. And in example 1, face value is simply 100 rupees. Anybody has a problem? The numbers are there right in front of you. Don't ask me how it is 10 rupee. What is printed on the bond? What is printed on the bond? 10 rupees printed. What is printed on the bond? 110 rupees printed. What is printed on this bond? 100, right? 10 rupees printed on this bond. Again, don't by heart these numbers. UPSC will not ask you these numbers. Don't waste your time. UPSC is not going to ask you these numbers. But why it is important? Imagine government has issued this bond. Imagine government has issued this bond. Whenever government issues this bond and says coupon rate is 6%, please tell me how much interest rate, how much interest, forget about rate now, how much interest or coupon you will earn annually. Simple question to all of you. How much coupon or interest you will earn annually on this bond? Can I say coupon? Arey Baba, how difficult is the calculation here? Some of your I don't understand. How do you simply calculate these wonderful numbers? I'm saying 6% is your right coupon rate. 2 students are saying my interest is 106 rupees. How? How? What is your calculation? What kind of calculator are you using? Throw it away. It is useless. Interest rate, my dear, interest rate. 2 people are saying 106 is my interest. There is one student, a very interesting number, 72 rupee interest. How? How? There are 2 students who are saying 6.6 rupee interest. My goodness. Right? Be very, very careful. Right? You are not able to calculate interest on 100 rupee. If 6% is interest, how much interest will you get? 6 rupee interest, my dear. 6 rupee interest, right? Some students are basically throwing any number that they feel like. All of you are okay now, right? All of you okay? How interest will be calculated? On what value interest will be calculated or coupon rate will be calculated? All of you are okay with this? Anybody has a problem with this? Please do let me know. Anybody has a problem with this? 6% coupon rate. You have purchased a bond at 100 rupee. Right? What is the investment or what is the interest you will get? You will get interest of 6 rupee. That's it. you will get interest of 6 rupee. So that is basically how the bond will work out in the market. Now there is one more term, yield rate. I'll come to this. There is one more term, yield rate. I'll come to this. Have patience. Please have patience. Now, is the concept of bond okay with all of you? Let me know. Is the concept of bond okay with all of you? Anybody has got any kind of problem with the term bond? And remember one more term here. Bond generally have a maturity period of more than 1 year. Maturity period is more than 1 year. I repeat, bonds have a maturity period of more than 1 year. That is basically they will mature. They will become mature. Tenure is more than 1 year. Arey Baba, I have not gone to market price. Have patience. What I've discussed, is there any problem with that? Don't introduce something that I've not yet discussed. Have patience. Always have patience. Did I talk about trading of bonds? Did I talk about buying and selling of the bonds? I've not yet gone there. I will go there. Have patience. Okay. Now, any problem with what I've discussed? If you ask a question regarding what I've discussed, I'll answer it. If you ask about operation twist, I've not discussed, I'll not answer. Then you'll say faculty is not answering. Why should I not answer? Right? I'll answer it, but have some patience. Bond can be issued outside India. Of course, yes. This is what I'm saying to you. Government of India can go to external market, borrow from external market. They can borrow from internal market also. Right? For example, let me know. Can government of India issue bonds in USA? Is it possible? Of course, yes. Can government of India issue bonds in USA? Of course, yes, possible. But we don't do that. We do not do that. Right? So can I simply say external borrowing? External borrowing in case of India is generally in the form of borrowing through international organizations. Borrowing through international organizations. So what kind of international organizations? For example, World Bank. For example, right, the BRICS Bank. For example, right, let's say IMF. From international organizations, right, we borrow. Now, internally, I said most important source of borrowing for the government is through government securities. What are government securities? These are nothing but instruments which are issued by the government. If you ask me, sir, what do you mean by government securities? These are instruments issued by the government. Issued by government. These are the instruments issued by government. Now, let me enter into that. Whenever you talk about government securities, there are two types. Whenever you talk about government securities, there are two types. One is called as a treasury bill. Second one is called as a dated securities. One is called as a treasury bill. Second one is called as a dated security. Now, what is the basic idea of a treasury bill and dated security? Dated securities will have a maturity period of more than 1 year. Please have a look at the slide now. Please have a look at the slide. The dated securities will have a maturity period of more than 1 year. Right? More than 1 year could be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 40 years, etc. Right now, the dated security with the highest maturity means for how many years government is borrowing. Right? All of you will agree with me? What do you mean by maturity period? Maturity means for how many years government is borrowing. That is called as a maturity. So the highest maturity period of a government bond is 40 years. Please remember this as of now. The bond with maturity period of 40 years has the highest maturity of any bond issued by government of India. Now, what about treasury bills? What about treasury bills? Treasury bills will have a maturity period of less than 1 year. Like for example, treasury bills will have a maturity period of 91 days. Treasury bills will have a maturity period of 182 days as well as 364 days. That is up to 1 year, less than 1 year. So these are called as treasury bills. These are called as dated securities. Now, next point, can I say dated securities can also be called as government bonds? Let me know. Right? Can I say dated securities can also be referred to as government bonds? Anybody has a problem? Are Baba, focus on what I'm discussing. Some of you are unnecessarily concerned about other things. Focus on what I'm discussing. Did we discuss financial market? Did I discuss a trading of a bond? No. Why are you concerned about it? We'll go point by point. Focus on what I'm discussing. You'll keep on typing. I will say dated securities are government bonds, and after 1 hour you'll ask how dated securities are government bonds. Don't do that. Focus on what I'm discussing. Can I say now dated securities are government bonds? Anybody has a problem with this? Anybody has a problem with this? Please do let me know. Reason is simple, right? Dated securities have a maturity period of more than 1 year, and the bonds generally will have a maturity period of more than 1 year. Hence, dated securities can also be referred as government bonds. Now, let me go to the next point. I said bonds can be issued by the government as well as by the companies. Now, come to the government bonds. Are generally the general security or government securities. The government securities, these are issued by following this process. We are going to the next point now. Government securities are issued by following process. Government securities of Government of India are given to Reserve Bank of India, and Reserve Bank of India will sell them in the market. Step number 1, government securities are given to RBI. Step number 2, RBI will sell them in the market to investors. Now, who can be investors in these government securities? Individuals such as you and me, we can purchase them. How? I'll tell you, have patience. Individuals such as you and me, we can purchase them. Second, the banks are allowed to purchase these government securities. Foreign investors are allowed to purchase these securities. And the fourth one is domestic investors such as mutual fund company. Domestic investors such as mutual fund company, insurance companies, etc. are also allowed to purchase these government securities. Now, if RBI will sell these securities to investors, can I say RBI will collect money from the investors? RBI will collect money from the investors and then transfer it into account of Government of India. Simple. Transfer this money into the account of Government of India. All the states as well as the Government of India, they have accounts with the Reserve Bank of India. RBI will simply transfer this money into the account of Government of India. Any problem with any of the 4 steps that I've explained just now? Please do let me know. Any problem with any of the 4 steps? It's a very simple process. Do not complicate it. Government will give the bond to RBI. RBI will sell it to investors. Second step, RBI will sell it to investors. What is difficulty in that? Can you purchase government bonds? Yes. Can I purchase government bonds? Yes. Right. So RBI will sell it to investors. RBI will collect the money and give it to the government. That is basically right how the process will be conducted. Now come to the next important point. Right. Come to the next important point. The government securities. How does RBI sell them? How does RBI sell them? Please understand this. There is a very important website, right? Remember the name of the website. There is a very important portal or a website. This is called as eKuber. Remember the name of the website? There is a very important website or a portal by the name of eKuber. eKuber. Through this eKuber, right, all of these investors will be able to purchase the bonds or the government securities of Government of India and simply transfer the money to RBI. RBI will transfer the money to Government of India's account. And some of you are asking questions, sir, example of a bond. My dear, what did we discuss earlier? I'm actually surprised, or I should say shocked now. Right? Did we not discuss what kind of government bonds are sold some time ago? Did you not discuss what kind of treasury bills are sold of Government of India some time ago? Hardly 5 minutes are over. Hardly 5 minutes are over. right? So you're not listening. It simply shows that you are not even focused on the classroom. Okay, so this is basically the process how Government of India will be able to sell these kind of instrument. Now, let's say you have purchased a bond, I have purchased a bond, bank has purchased a bond. Are we allowed to sell them in the market? Of course, yes. If you purchase a bond of tenure, let's say 30 years, it doesn't mean that you'll have to keep the bond for 30 years. You can simply sell it again in the market. So is there any other facility? Is there any other facility wherein we can sell these bonds? Wherein banks can sell these bonds? Yes, there is one more portal by the name of NDSOM. There is one more portal by the name of NDSOM. What is this NDSOM? Negotiated Dealing System. Negotiated Dealing System Order Matching. Negotiated Dealing System Order Matching. Now, through this portal, NDSOM, you can, right, the investors who have purchased the bonds, they can sell these bonds in the market. This is the next point. Let me go to the next important point. Follow this very carefully. Let me go to the next important point. I'll give you two situations. Understand both of them very carefully. Example one. Government of India will issue bonds to RBI. RBI will sell the bonds to the investors, collect the money and transfer it to Government of India. Okay, I'll repeat it. Government of India will issue the bonds to RBI, give the bonds to RBI. RBI will sell the bonds to investors, collect the money, give it to Government of India. Example 2, Government of India will sell the bonds to RBI. RBI will give money to Government of India. Now please tell me, observe and please tell me, don't you think example 1 and example 2 both are different? Anybody who says both are one and the same, then I'll simply ask you to wear your chasma, right? Wear your glasses. Both are very much different, right? In first example, RBI is not giving its money to Government of India. RBI is collecting money from the market, giving it to government. And in example 2, RBI is giving its money to Government of India. Now, what is the name for these two systems? Example 2 is called as a direct monetization. Example 2 is called as a direct monetization. And example 1 is called as a indirect monetization. Indirect monetization. In case of India, indirect monetization is done now. In India, right now, we follow concept of indirect monetization. Earlier, we used to follow direct monetization as well. I'll repeat the statement. Right now, in case of India, we follow indirect monetization. Earlier, we used to follow direct monetization as well. But look at this system. In case of direct monetization, can I simply say, if RBI will purchase bonds directly from Government of India, it will increase the money supply in the economy. Think of this. Correct or not? If RBI purchases bonds directly from Government of India, it will increase the money supply in the economy. And if it leads to increase in the money supply, what will happen to inflationary trend? What will happen to inflationary pressures in the economy? Inflationary trend. Don't you think inflation will increase? That is the precise reason we do not follow direct monetization today. Rather, we follow indirect monetization. Because in case of indirect monetization, do you think money supply is increasing? New money is being introduced in the market? Think of it. In example 1, please tell me, is a new money, that is very important. Is a new money being introduced in the economy in example 1? Right, sir, how new money is not being introduced here? How new money will be introduced here? Let me explain it. Some of you are already confused. Imagine you have 100 rupee. Simple. Imagine you have 100 rupee. So can I say this 100 rupee is already there in the system? It is already there in the economy. Now, Government of India will issue a bond to you and collect 100 rupee from you. So can I say, because of this, in one part of the economy, 100 rupee has gone down. In another part of the economy, 100 rupee has increased. That's it. Any problem here? By issuing a bond of 100 rupee to you, taking 100 rupee from you, right, in one part of the economy, it is minus 100. 100 rupee gone down. In other part of the economy, 100 rupee has increased. So is there any change in the money supply? Is there any introduction of new money in the economy? That is very important. Are we introducing new money to the economy? No, money was already there in the system. But come to the example 2. Do you think RBI is circulating money in the economy for purchasing goods and services? Think of it. Is RBI using money to purchase goods and services in the market? Are they going to the market to purchase tomatoes? Are they going to the market? Some of you say yes. Right? This is so much this thing. Right? I don't want to take the names. How? How you tell me those people who are saying, right? Yes, sir, RBI spending. RBI creates loans through banking sector. RBI is not there in the market to consume goods and services. So argument is very simple. RBI, right, will print money and give it to Government of India in example 2. Any problem in understanding this at least now? RBI, in order to purchase the bonds of Government of India, will print money and give it to Government of India. Now, please tell me, if 100 rupees printed by Government of India, given it to Government of India, now can I say, new 100 rupee, extra 100 rupees getting added to the economy? At least now this should be okay with you. Extra 100 rupee, whatever is the money there in the economy, in addition to that, now 100 rupee more gets added. That will increase money supply. That can cause inflation in the economy. That is the reason we do not follow direct monetization. We follow indirect monetization. Right? We do not follow direct monetization. Now, let me give you one more very important concept. Then I'll ask you a question. Government bonds. Government bonds. Who is the issuer? I'm not asking seller. Right? Follow the example very carefully. Government bonds. Who is the issuer of government bonds? Can I say issuer will be government? Any problem here? Issuer will be government. Second question. Adani shares. Adani shares. Who is the issuer of Adani shares? Think of it. Who is the issuer of shares of Adani company? I'll simply say Adani itself. Anybody who says somebody else? No, Adani company itself has issued shares. Now, please remember this point very carefully. Whenever you purchase any instruments from the issuer in the market, whenever you purchase instruments from the issuer in the market, this is called as primary market. I'll repeat the statement. Whenever you purchase the instruments directly from the issuer in the market, this is called as primary market. Now, let me give you a second example here. Imagine I have purchased the government bond. Now, I will sell the government bond to you. Can you call me as an issuer? Think logically. I have purchased a government bond and I will sell the government bond to you. Can you call me as an issuer? No. But can I be referred to as investor? Let me know. Can I be referred as investor? Can I be referred as a trader? Of course, yes. So let's look at the next point here. Whenever investors will sell the instruments to another investor, whenever investor will sell the instrument to another investor, right, basically this is called as a secondary market. This is referred to as a secondary market. Any difficulty? Whenever we purchase the instruments from the issuer, when the issuer will sell the instrument to me in the market, that is called as a primary market. whenever investors who already have ownership of these instruments, when they will sell it to somebody else in the market, right, this is called as a secondary market. Now, simple question to all of you. Simple question to all of you. Can RBI participate in the primary market for government securities? Think of it. Think of it very carefully. Please tell me, can RBI participate? As expected, some students are giving wrong answer. As expected. Can RBI participate in the primary market for government securities? Participate in the sense, can RBI purchase government securities in the primary market? Think logically now, my dear. Answer is there right in front of you. It's not that I'm giving some new concept to you. It is there right in front of you. No. RBI is not allowed to participate in the primary market for government securities. Please look at it. Please look at the examples. No. Example 1, right? Please understand this. Example 1, government is issuing the bonds. Who are the people who are purchasing? Investors are purchasing. This is a primary market transaction. Look at example 2. That is also primary market transaction. But is RBI allowed to conduct a direct monetization in India? Let me know. Is RBI allowed to conduct a direct monetization? Direct monetization is primary market. But is RBI allowed to conduct a direct monetization? Some of you say yes now. Very bad. Right? You people are sleeping. Some of you are actually sleeping. Is RBI allowed to conduct a direct monetization? I have written wrong here. Right? I've written it will increase money supply. It will cause inflation. I said hence we do not go for, right? We do not go for direct monetization. Arey Baba, how difficult is all these concepts? Primary market means you will purchase from the issuer. You will purchase it directly from the issuer. Who is the issuer of government bonds? Government. So if RBI purchases, that's very important. If RBI purchases government bonds directly from Government of India, don't you think that will become direct monetization? At least now this should be clear. Don't you think that becomes a direct monetization? And is direct monetization allowed in India? No, that will cause inflation. We have discontinued it. But on the other side, right, understand this very carefully. On the other side, RBI is allowed to purchase government securities from other investors. RBI can purchase government securities from other investors. For example, me. I have a government bond. Can RBI purchase government bond from me? Yes. From a bank. Can RBI purchase government bond from a bank? Yes. Now tell me, is it okay if I say RBI is allowed to purchase government securities from the secondary market? Is the logic okay? Is the logic okay now? RBI is allowed to participate in the secondary market for government securities and they can purchase government securities. Now, whenever RBI will purchase or sell government securities, I repeat, whenever RBI will purchase and sell means again to the investors, not to Government of India, to the investors. So why will RBI sell government securities? Tell me now. RBI wants to promote growth. Simple question to all of you. RBI wants to promote growth. Should RBI increase money supply or decrease money supply? Think of this. If RBI wants to promote growth, should RBI increase money supply or decrease money supply? RBI has to increase money supply. Arey Baba, some of you are saying decrease money supply. How? Right, you people are not at all revising. Not at all revising. Right, and I'm very unhappy with some of the students. Right, why? Did we not discuss all of this earlier in inflation? Let me know. If I have not discussed, then it is my mistake. If you have not revised, then it is your mistake. Did we not discuss all of this when we discussed inflation? Let me know. I'm pretty sure I've discussed this. Otherwise, I cannot tell you how RBI will play an important role in controlling inflation. Without discussing this, there is no way I will be able to convince you how RBI will control inflation. So whenever they want to control inflation, whenever they want to control inflation, RBI will reduce money supply. RBI will reduce money supply. Whenever they want to promote growth, RBI will increase money supply. Now, can RBI do both of them using government securities in the market? Think of it. Can RBI do both of them from investor viewpoint? For example, if RBI wants to promote growth, can RBI purchase G security from the bank, increase money supply? Any problem here? Can RBI purchase government securities from the bank, increase money supply? And on the other side, if RBI wants to control inflation, RBI will sell a lot of government securities. They already have a lot of government securities. They have purchased from you people. They have lot of these government securities. They will sell it to you, reduce money supply. Right, so they can use the tools like this to either promote growth or control inflation. And remember the next point here, whenever RBI sells or purchases government securities, whenever RBI sells or purchases government securities like this is called as open market operation. This is referred to as open market operation. Is it okay? RBI will sell government securities to the investors or purchase government securities from the investors, either to promote growth or control inflation. This is called as open market operation. Remember this. Tomorrow when I say open market operation, don't ask me what is open market operation. It shows that you are not revising. Done? So these are some of the ways through which RBI will help Government of India to borrow, will help Government of India to borrow from the market, will give loan to Government of India. Now let me come to the concept of public debt. Let me come to the concept of public debt. Now first and foremost, the term debt simply means repayment. You owe certain payment, right? You owe certain payment. Debt means you are owing payment. You will have to make payment. That is called as debt. Point number 2. Whenever you use the term public debt, it simply means how much money the Government of India owes. Public debt means here how much money does Government of India owe? How much money Government of India has to repay? That is called as public debt. Point number 3. Public debt is basically a sum total of internal debt of Government of India plus external debt of Government of India. Any problem with this? Public debt basically is nothing but the sum total of internal debt of Government of India plus external debt of Government of India. Now, who will keep records of all of this? Who will keep the records of all of this internal debt? It is Reserve Bank of India, which will keep the record. Record means RBI will help Government of India to borrow. RBI will transfer money into the account of Government of India. RBI will make a payment, to these investors, etc., etc. All this record is kept with, the Reserve Bank of India. That is the reason, remember section 21 of RBI Act of. Remember section 21 of RBI Act of 1934. What does it say? It is the duty of RBI to maintain public debt of Government of India. It is the duty of RBI to provide loan facilities to the Government of India. So any problem with this function? Let me know. Any problem with this function? In order to buy bonds, it has to make payment, then how it is injecting extra money? My dear, RBI will pay money to Government of India. RBI is paying money to Government of India. That money RBI has to print. So that 100 rupee is the extra money now. Money circulation will increase. How difficult is this? How difficult is this concept? These concepts are very simple. Trust me. You don't even know complicated functions of RBI. I have not even touched that. I will not even touch that because that is very, very complicated. RBI will purchase a government bond. From where will the RBI get money? You tell me. From where will RBI have money? RBI will print money, give it to Government of India. So that will increase money supply. That's it. Okay. Now let me go to the next one. Who will maintain external debt? External debt data is maintained with Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance will maintain the data of external debt. Okay. Now, let me come to the concept of yield. Important now. Focus. Please focus. This is slightly technical. Please focus. Concept of yield. Now, point number one. I will write that bonds are tradable. Bonds are tradable. Anybody has a problem with this statement? Please do let me know right now. I'm writing a statement. Bonds are tradable. Tradable means bonds can be sold, bonds can be purchased. Anybody has a problem with this statement? Because I'll go to the next one. If bonds are tradable, please tell me, will the market price of the bond remain same? Let me know. If the bonds are tradable, if you can purchase and sell bonds, do you think market price of the bonds will remain same? Of course, no. Can I say that if supply of the bond increases, if the supply of the bond increases, market price should come down? Any problem with this logic? If the supply of the bond increases, market price will come down. If demand for the bond increases, market price should go up. There are two students who are asking how supply will lead to change in market price. My dear, if you supply more and more of anything in the market, what will happen to market price? What did you learn in the first class then? This is very surprising now. Very, very surprising. Right? I'm actually flabbergasted now. Right? What did you learn in the first class then? What did you revise then? In the 5 plus 3, this is the 8th class. In the 8th class, you are asking how higher supply will lead to lower market price. Read. Right? Then please understand, I will come to a conclusion. Some of the students will not revise. Right? There is no point in addressing their questions. If you don't revise, there is no point then. Okay? Done. So supply increases, market price will come down. Demand increases, market price will go up. Now, simple question to you people. Can I say, if the market price will change, please understand this carefully. Can I say, if the market price will change, what is the percentage returns you will earn will also change on your investment that you have done. Understand this point carefully. Many of you get stuck up here itself. I'll repeat the statement here. If the market price will change, how much is your percentage returns on your investment that will keep on changing. Now, many of you will ask me, how is that possible? Let me ask you a very simple question. Imagine you will invest 105 rupees, you will earn 6 rupees. Imagine you will invest 95 rupees, you will earn 6 rupees. Now, use your calculator and please tell me, what is the percentage earning done in example 1 as well as example 2? Again, don't worry about exact numbers. Don't worry about exact numbers. Now, please understand the logic behind it. Why I'm writing all of this, please understand the logic behind it. Right? You are earning 6 rupee by investing 105 rupee in one example. You are earning 6 rupee by investing 95 rupee in the second example. Now, can I simply say 105 rupee, 95 rupee is market price? Let me know. Can the market prices change? Correct or not? Can the market prices of the bonds keep on changing? Of course, yes, market prices will keep on changing. Right? And as a result of the change in the market price, what will happen to the percentage returns that you are earning on your investment? The percentage returns that you are earning on your investment will also keep on changing. Remember this point as well. Sir, why should we understand all of it? Let me throw one more term at you, yield rates. Let me throw one more term at you, yield rate. What do you mean by yield rate? What is the percentage returns generated by you investing in a bond? What is the percentage returns you are earning by investing in a bond? Now, please have a look at it. Can I say, yield rate in example 1, yield rate in example 1 is somewhere around 5%. Whatever the exact number is there, you don't worry. Whatever is the exact number, don't worry. I don't have the calculator. But please tell me, yield rate in the first example is somewhere around 5%. And in the second example, it is somewhere around 7%. Yes or no? Anybody has a problem? Arey Baba, let me know. Anybody has a problem? Don't complicate it. Listen to what I'm saying first. Point number 1, the market prices of the bonds will change. Anybody has a problem with this statement? Let me know. The market prices of the bonds will change. Right? It could be government bond, it could be corporate bond. Market prices will change. In certain time period, market prices will increase. In certain time period, market prices will decrease. Point number 2, I am saying as the market prices will change, whatever is your percentage earning on your investment, that will also keep on changing. Point number 3, what I'm trying to convince you people is basically this thing. What is your percentage earning on the investment that you have done on a bond is called as yield rate. What is your percentage earning on the investment that you have done in a bond? It is called as yield rate. Now, what is the yield rate in the first example? Around 5%. What is the yield rate in the second example? Around 7%. Now, fourth important point. Can I write? Think of this. Can I write, based on this, market prices are inversely proportional to the yield rate of a bond? Let me know. Right, the next important point. Just make observations here. Please just make observations. Market prices, can I say, are inversely proportional to the yield rate. By heart it. Please by heart it. Market prices are inversely proportional to yield rate. Meaning, if the market price of the bond goes up, yield rate will go down. If the market price of the bond will go down, yield rate will go up. Please by heart it. Simply by heart it. Right? Now, right, understand the next point. What is this concept of yield rate? How it is connected? How it is connected to what we are discussing? How it is connected to what we are discussing under the concept of Reserve Bank of India? Whenever you talk about government bonds, yield rate on government bonds will keep on changing. It is never constant. Yield rate, I repeat, yield rate will keep on changing. But can I say coupon rate is decided on the face value of the bond. Coupon rate, if it is 6% for this bond, coupon rate every year you will get 6 rupee. Think of it. Please think of it. This bond has a face value of how much? Those who are confused, listen to the sequence here. This bond, that is example 1, has a face value of how much? 100 rupee. And the coupon rate is 6%. So how much interest you will earn annually? Again, this question I've already asked. How much interest will you earn annually? You will earn annually 6 rupees. But can I say this? Next point is important. Can I say this? In the market, you might end up purchasing this bond at 95 rupees in certain situations. Is the logic okay? In certain situation, you might end up purchasing this bond at 95 rupees, or you might end up purchasing this bond at 105 rupees as well. Market prices will keep on changing, but annually how much you will keep on earning? You will earn 6 rupees. So now, in one example, when you earn coupon of 6 rupee on your investment of 95 rupee, your yield rate will be very high. Agreed? Let me know. You will earn a coupon of 6 rupee after 1 year is over, but your investment is 95 rupee. Your yield rate will be higher. But, right, what if you purchase this bond at 105 rupee? You will earn coupon of 6 rupee, but your investment is 105 rupee, your yield rate will be lower. Your yield rates will be lower. This is how yield rate in the market will keep on changing, will keep on getting fluctuated. Right? That is, coupon rate is same, 6 rupee you will earn. But because of the market prices of the bonds, right, the yield rate will keep on changing. Yield will be, right, higher certain times, yield rate will start falling certain times, because it is inversely proportional to market prices. Now, those who have understood the calculation, well and good. If you are finding it difficult to follow the calculation, forget it. UPSC will not ask you this calculation, forget it. If you don't trust me, concept of yield is not new. It is a centuries old. Check in which year question has been asked on calculation of the yield rate. UPSC will not ask you the calculation on yield rate, leave it. Right? But what you need to simply remember is yield rate is inversely proportional. Yield rate is inversely proportional to market prices. Please by heart that. Yield is principal, money plus interest. Who stated that? Did I say that at any point of time? Arey Baba, why are you creating complications? Did I at any point of time in the last 10 minutes, did I say yield is a combination of principal plus interest? Listen, yield rate is how much is the percentage returns you are earning on your investment. Simple. Right? I don't know what is the complication here. Yield rate is how much is your percentage returns on your investment. If you purchase a bond at 95 rupees, can I say your investment is 95 rupees? Yes or no? Let me know. Right? If your investment is 95 rupees, can I say, right? If you purchase a bond at 95, investment is 95. And after 1 year, you will get 6 rupees. So how much is your percentage returns? 6 upon 95 rupees. Right? And if you purchase a bond at 105, right, basically your investment is 105. After 1 year, you will get 6 rupee. Right? That is 6 upon 105. Again, don't complicate all of this. If you have understood the calculation, well and good. Otherwise, sir, all of this is very complicated for me. Leave it. Simply remember only one formula. This is the formula. Simply remember this formula, more than sufficient for UPSC GS paper 3. More than sufficient for GS paper 3. Don't complicate everything. Now, think of this. Let me ask you a simple question. Whatever I've discussed, I've given it here. Please go through this. Let me ask you a very simple question. Now, let's say lot of foreign investors will bring money into India, invest in government bonds. Imagine this is a situation. Lot of foreign investors will bring money into India, invest in government bonds. Please tell me what will happen to yield rate. Please tell me what will happen to the yield rate. Right? What will happen to the yield rate? Yield rate, should it go down or should the yield rate go up? Apply logic. We have discussed all of this. Apply logic. Foreign investors will invest in government bonds, which means what will happen to demand for government bonds? What will happen to demand for government bonds? Demand will increase. When the demand will increase, what will happen to market prices? Market prices will increase and the yield rate will start going down. Does it make perfect sense to you? Does it make perfect sense or not? Yield rate will go down. Let me give you another example. Imagine Indian economy. Imagine Indian economy will start falling into recession, and during recession, people or investors, people that is generally investors, will have a higher confidence on government bonds. I'll repeat the statement. Imagine in India, we are moving towards slowdown and recession. And generally, at this point of time, investors would prefer to invest more and more in government bonds. Why? Government bonds are very safe investments. All of you agree? Government bonds are very, very safe investments. Why safe investment? Give me one example where government of India has defaulted on the payment. You'll not get it. Don't waste your time. Give me one example where government of India has taken the money and has not repaid the money. That is called as defaulting. You will not see any default done by Government of India since independence. You will not see it. Which means, can I say, between giving money to a company and giving money to government, it is much safer to invest in government bonds. All of you will agree? It is much safer to invest in government bonds. And if economy is moving towards a recession, don't you think investors would start preferring to invest in government bonds? So what will happen to the demand? Demand will start increasing. And if demand starts increasing, market price will increase and the yield rate, that is the percentage returns on your investment, should start going down. That is basically the idea. So based on the market situation, demand for government bonds might increase or might start decreasing. And when the demand will keep on changing, market prices will change and the yield rates will change in opposite direction. Done? Right, so these are certain important concepts. Next one is operation twist. I'll take it after the break. But before that, if you have got any kind of questions, please do let me know. I'm asking that if I have a government bond, can I have cash in exchange of this bond during financial emergency? How? What kind of financial emergency that you're talking about? Are you talking about constitutional financial emergency or you are talking about your financial emergency? If your question is, can I sell it and get cash? Answer is yes, you can sell bonds in the market. Why treasury bills are not issued by the state governments as they are short term? Please understand, state governments are allowed to issue only bonds if the state governments want to borrow for a shorter duration. If they want to borrow for a shorter duration, they can always approach RBI and borrow. Because the treasury means basically sovereign guarantee. Sovereign guarantee is given by government. Government of India is allowed to issue treasury bills. In example 2, it says 100 rupees under premium price bond, but the sum issued is 110. Why? Interest rate. They've already calculated interest rate and they said after 1 year is over, I'll give you this much amount. Don't worry about that example. Don't worry about all of it. So who does bear the cost of printing and minting of money? Minting cost is borne by Government of India. Printing cost is borne by RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Okay, done. Any more questions? Can RBI purchase private bonds in primary market? No. Generally, RBI is not allowed to participate and purchase private sector bonds. Private sector bonds RBI doesn't purchase because under Section 17, RBI is allowed to invest in Government of India's bonds. RBI is allowed to invest and purchase gold. RBI is allowed to purchase foreign government bonds. Right? Generally, RBI does not participate in private sector bonds. When demand is high, how can yield go down? My dear, market price. Market price. After the whole story is over, you're asking me how market price and demand are connected. If the demand goes up, market price should go up. If the market price goes up, yield rate is inversely proportional, it will go down. Government is also selling bond for punching money in economics, maybe because for taking measure reflation. Then what is the problem purchasing bond by RBI? My dear, please understand the difference. You people are not even listening. If government will issue a bond from you, collect money from you, government, it doesn't mean 100 rupee extra is issued in the economy. Can you understand what I'm saying? You have 100 rupee. That 100 rupee is already there in the system. So it is collecting from you and spending. It is not new 100 rupee. It is not extra 100 rupee into the system. But on the other side, if RBI will purchase a bond from Government of India, RBI will print 100 rupee and give it to Government of India. That will be additional 100 rupee added to the system. How many times should we keep on running around the same bush? Does government pay market price or face value while buying the bond back from the investor? If it is matured, then the face value is paid. Okay. Does RBI sell and purchase treasury bills as well in the market? Of course, yes. They will use all of these, but it mainly targets government bonds. Okay. Who will record external debt? I've told this 2 times already. I'll repeat it third time. Right? Minister of Finance. Minister of Finance will keep the record of external debt. How is RBI paying other investors? Why should RBI pay other investors? Who has issued bond? Tell me, who has issued bond? Who will owe repayment? Right? Government will owe the repayment, not RBI. Government has issued a bond. Government will make the payment. Why should RBI make the payment? What is the logic behind it? Okay, so let's take a break then. I will restart the discussion at 8:20. We'll restart the discussion at 8:20. Just checking some of the comments of the students. Questions. They were concerned about the calculations that I've shown in the earlier slide. If you have not understood the calculation, do not worry. I repeat, do not worry. UPSC will not ask you to calculate. All you need to remember is market price is inversely proportional to the yield rate. Right? Market price is inversely proportional to yield rate. Point number 1. Point number 2, in the market, please understand, in the bond market, the 10-year government security, the 10-year government security or government bond, this is called as a benchmark. I repeat, in the market, the 10-year government security or a 10-year government bond, it is called as a benchmark. Benchmark means standard. Now, what is the importance of the benchmark? Please remember this point. If the yield rate on the benchmark will change, if the yield rate on the benchmark will change, in the market, interest rates will also start changing. I'll repeat the statement. If the yield rate on the benchmark changes, what is a benchmark? The 10-year government security is called as a benchmark instrument, benchmark bond in the market. So if the yield rate on the benchmark changes, the whole market will realize the yield rate on a standard security is changing. Automatically, what will happen to other interest rates in the market? Other interest rates in the market will change. Market, in simple terms, will follow the benchmark. Does it make sense to you? Benchmark is nothing but a standard. For example, if I tell you that State Bank of India, right, ICICI Bank, Punjab National Bank, or now HDFC Bank, they are increasing, right, the rate of interest on savings bank account, then don't you think other banks will also follow? Let me know, does it make sense to you? Right, banks such as HDFC Bank, State Bank of India, ICICI Bank, etc., if they increase the interest rate on the savings bank account, don't you think other banks will also start following them? Why? Why do you think they will follow them? Because these are the standards, these are the benchmarks in the market. If they are changing their interest rates, automatically other banks will also start following them. In the same way, understand the logic. On a 10-year government bond, imagine it will give you a yield rate of 8% now. Imagine it will give you a yield rate of 8%, and now yield rate will fall down to 7%. From 8%, yield rate will fall down to 7%. Don't you think other borrowers, such as let's say a company wants to issue a bond and wants to borrow from the market? Now, don't you think they will also reduce the interest rate or the coupon rate on their bonds? Tell me, does it make sense to you or not? Will they also not reduce their interest rate or the coupon rate on the bonds that they're issuing? Because the standard in the market, the benchmark in the market has gone down. Any problem with this idea? Any problem with this idea? Can I go forward? In essence, all you need to remember is the 10-year government security is very, very important for you. In the market, the 10-year government security is very, very important for you. Why? The yield rate on a 10-year government security is a standard. It is the benchmark. And as the yield rate on 10-year government security will change, coupon rates, interest rates will also change. Now, those who are asking, explain again and again, please understand it. I'll repeat it again. You will have to listen to this carefully. You can read 100 books of GS paper 3. I'm guaranteeing you they have not given all of this. You listen carefully. I'm saying 10-year government security is referred as a benchmark in India's government bond market. Is a statement one okay with you? 10-year government security is considered to be a standard or a benchmark in the bond market. Any problem with this? And because this is a standard, and many of you will ask why this is a standard, because a lot of investors are interested in this. They feel 10-year, it's not very short, it is not very long also. 10-year is appropriate for them. So the demand for 10-year government security is very high normally. That is the reason that is considered to be a standard or a benchmark. Now, next important point. I'm saying whenever the yield rate on 10-year government security change, whenever the yield rate on a 10-year government security changes, it is a standard. Hence, interest rates or the coupon rates in the market should also change. Meaning what? Imagine you have 100 rupee. If you invest in a 10-year government bond, right now you are earning yield rate of 8%. A simple question to you people. I'm a private sector company. I want to sell a bond of 100 rupee to you and collect the money from you. Please tell me, will you demand a coupon rate of less than 8%? Does it make sense to you? Will you demand a coupon rate of less than 8%? Is there anyone in the class who says, yes, sir, I'm okay with 7%. I'm okay with, right, 6%. You should not. You should not. Why? If you take the same 100, invest in a 10-year bond, how much will you get? 8% you will get. Why will you be happy with less than 8%? But now what if the yield rate will fall down from 8% to 7%? Now, don't you think automatically I, as a corporate sector, I can issue a bond at 7.2% compared to earlier situation of 8.1% and borrow money from you? Possible? Think of it. Earlier, because the yield rate was 8%, I was forced to give you a coupon of more than 8%. Now, because the yield rate on 10-year government security has fallen down to 7%, will I keep on giving you 8.1%? No, I will reduce the coupon rate to 7.2% now. I will issue a new bond. I will give you 7.2%. It is higher than existing yield rate. That is the reason the 10-year government security yield rate is very important. It is considered to be a benchmark. And whenever the yield rate on 10-year government security will keep on changing, interest rates in the economy will also keep on changing. Please remember this. Let me go to operation twist. Operation twist is a type of open market operation. Do you remember what is open market operation? Operation twist is a type of open market operation. Under operation twist, RBI simultaneously, remember this, RBI simultaneously sells and buys same value of government securities. I'll repeat the statement here. I'm defining what is operation twist. I'll explain. Have patience. RBI simultaneously buys and sells same value of government securities. Meaning what? RBI, right? Let's say right now will sell 1,000 crore worth of government securities and purchase 1,000 crore worth of government securities. Why they will do that, you will understand in a minute. But please tell me answer to this question. If RBI simultaneously sells 1,000 crore worth of government securities and purchases 1,000 crore worth of government securities, will money supply change? Will the money supply in the economy change? Right? That's it's not very difficult to understand. Will the money supply change? Money supply will not change, my dear. How some of you are saying yes? How? What is your argument? On what basis are you saying yes? Right? The numbers are there right in front of you. RBI will sell 1,000 crore rupee worth of government securities. RBI will purchase 1,000 crore worth of government securities. So on one side, 1,000 crore will get added. On the other side, 1,000 crore will be withdrawn. How the money supply will change? Anybody has a difficulty in this? How the money supply will change here? Money supply will not change because same value is added, same value is subtracted. How money supply will change here? Anybody has a difficulty in this? Anybody has a difficulty in this? Please do let me know. Right? It will not change. Money supply will not change here. Right? It's like saying you have 100 rupee. I will give you a bond worth 100 rupee. Take that 100 rupee from you. And on the other side, I will give you 100 rupee. So has the money supply changed? Of course, no, it has not changed. So point number one, simultaneously, it will sell and purchase same value of government security. So it is a type of open market operation. Point number two, whenever RBI sells, this is very important. Whenever RBI sells, it will sell short-term bonds. And whenever RBI will purchase, it will purchase 10-year government bonds. I'll repeat it. Whenever RBI will sell, it will sell short-term bonds. And whenever RBI will purchase 10-year government bonds under Operation Twist. Why do they do that? Right? Some of you will say it doesn't make any sense. You are selling same value, purchasing same value. Right? No difference. It is an idiotic, useless exercise. Let me explain it. Follow this very carefully. RBI purchases 10-year government bonds and sells, let's say, 2-year government bonds. 2-year, 5-year, doesn't matter. That is not important. 10-year government bond is important. Follow that. Track it. If RBI will start purchasing 10-year government bonds in the market, what will happen to the demand for the 10-year bonds? Demand for the 10-year bonds will start increasing. If the demand will increase, what will happen to market price of 10-year bonds? Market price will also start increasing. And if the market prices will start increasing, what will happen to yield rate? Yield rate of these 10-year bonds will fall. Now, do you remember this that we have discussed earlier? Do you remember point 3 that we have discussed 5 minutes ago? If the yield rate on 10-year government security will fall down, what will happen to interest rates in the market? What should happen to interest rates in the market? Interest rates should start falling down. Now think of it. You're a private sector company. You're a private sector company. Now, if the interest rates in the economy have gone down, can you issue bonds at a lower coupon rate, borrow more, and invest more? Let me know. Very simple sequence. If the interest rates are going down, because the yield rate are down, automatically interest rate is also down. Now, can you issue more bonds, offer lower coupon rate compared to earlier, offer lower coupon rate, borrow more, and invest more in the economy? Of course, yes. And this will promote more and more investment. If it will promote more and more investment, can it also promote recovery in the economy? Answer is yes. So using this tool, right, understand the beauty of the system. Understand the beauty of the system, right? Many of you will argue with me, sir, why is RBI using this? They could use any other tool. Why is RBI using this? What if I say, right now RBI wants to promote a recovery. RBI wants to promote growth in the economy, but the money supply is already very high. Inflation is already very high. Let me know. Right? You want to promote recovery. You want to promote growth in the economy. Money supply is already very high. Inflation is very high. If RBI wants to promote growth, they should increase money supply. But if they increase money supply, there is already higher inflation. So don't you think you'll start contributing to inflation in the economy? Yes or no? Does it make sense to you people? In this situation, can RBI promote recovery without changing money supply? That is the beauty of Operation Twist. I repeat, this is the beauty of Operation Twist. Without changing money supply, can RBI promote recovery? Can RBI promote more credit to industries? Can RBI promote more recovery in the economy? Yes, through Operation Twist. Through Operation Twist, RBI will not change money supply, will ensure yield rate will go down, and when yield rate will go down, right, automatically the interest rates in the economy will go down. Companies will be able to issue more bonds at a lower rate of interest, lower coupon rate, borrow more, invest more. This is how Operation Twist will function. Done? That is what I've written here. Government borrowing will influence the bond supply in the market. Yield rates are inversely proportional to the market prices. Yield rate on 10-year government security influences the interest rates. And the definition of Operation Twist is very simple. It is a type of open market operation wherein RBI simultaneously means at the same time will purchase and sell same value of government securities. But when they will sell short-term government securities, and when they will purchase, they will target 10-year government securities. Done? Any problem with this? Then why government supply money in people hand to increase the demand? What is the question? Then why government supply money in people hand to increase demand? Arey Baba, what is the context you are asking the question? What is the context? Please do let me know. Any difficulty? Can we go forward? By the way, if you're confused what we're discussing, we are discussing functions of RBI. We are discussing functions of RBI. Now, the next very important function, next very, very important function, monetary policy. Next, simultaneously means at the same time. At the same time. Simultaneously means at the same time. That is, today, RBI will sell. Today only, RBI will purchase simultaneously. Short-term bonds, 2 years, 3 years, 5-year government bonds. Okay, can we go forward here? Is RBI not allowed to engage in direct monetization even during recession? I will tell you the context where direct monetization is allowed. There are certain exceptions. When I take up a budgeting exercise next week, I'll tell you only in certain situations, government can opt for direct monetization. Only in certain situations, not during normal times. Okay. Now, let me go to the next one here. Monetary policy. Next very important function is monetary policy. Now, what is this monetary policy? Monetary policy is also referred to as credit control measure. Monetary policy tools or credit control tools. The basic idea is using monetary policy tools or credit control tools, RBI will regulate money supply. RBI will regulate money supply. Regulate simply means increase money supply and decrease money supply. Simple idea. Regulation means either increase money supply or decrease money supply. That is basically the objective of monetary policy tools. Now, we have two sets of monetary policy tools. One is a quantitative, second one is a qualitative. First one is quantitative, second one is qualitative. What's the basic idea? In quantitative, money supply will be regulated. Understand the difference here very carefully. In quantitative, money supply will be regulated. Either increase money supply, decrease money supply in the overall market. Whereas in qualitative, along with regulation of money supply, we can also target specific sectors. You will understand what is the meaning of this. Please give me some time. You'll understand when I take up tools under each one of them. But difference is in quantitative, overall money supply, either you can increase or decrease. In qualitative, yes, money supply will change. But in addition to that, we can target specific sectors, and in specific sectors, we can increase money supply or decrease money supply. For example, we can target only agriculture sector, increase money supply in the agriculture sector, or decrease under qualitative. In quantitative, we cannot do that. Why? Give me some time, I'll explain it. In quantitative, the tools used by Reserve Bank of India are cash reserve ratio, CRR, bank rate, BR, statutory liquidity ratio, SLR, repo and reverse repo, and open market operation, OMO. In addition to this, there is one more latest tool which has been introduced, standing deposit facility. Standing deposit facility, SDF, standing deposit facility. Now, come to the other side, qualitative set of tool, rationing of credit, priority sector lending, PSL, variation of margin requirements, regulation of consumer credit, moral suasion, direct action, publicity. Now, these are names. Let's try and understand all of them one by one. Focus on this discussion. This is very, very important. If you check the previous 10 years question paper, I will guarantee one question generally comes from this slide. One question will come from this slide. You can check last 10 years question paper and tell me whether I'm right or wrong. Now, let's start. Let's go one by one. We'll discuss all of them, but I'll not discuss OMO. Please tell me. OMO is already over? Before the break, let me know in the first session, did we cover OMO? And incidentally, one student is asking what is open market operation. Right? Despite saying that, right, you will ask it afterwards. Listen it again carefully. Open market operation basically, and I'm actually surprised by some of the students. Right? Actually surprised. Open market operation, it's not that I've written this for the first time. Earlier also, I have discussed what is open market operation. Correct or not? Right? Earlier also, I've discussed what is open market operation. Open market operation basically means RBI will be allowed to sell or purchase, right? Purchase government securities. RBI will be allowed to sell or purchase government securities, right? That is open market operation. Now, let me start. First one, repo and reverse repo. Most important tool used by RBI is repo. Okay, repo rate. Now, what is the repo rate? Please look at the picture here. Please observe. Repo, it is the rate of interest charged by RBI on the short-term loans given to banks. When RBI will give loan to a bank, on this loan, very short duration. Sir, how short? 1 day, 7 days, 14 days, very, very short duration. So whenever RBI will provide a short-term loan to a bank for a very short duration, RBI will charge a rate of interest. That rate of interest is called as basically repo rate. Now, how can we show that? Please make observations here. Step 1, RBI will provide loan to a bank. RBI will give loan to a bank. Now, please understand there is a term security or bond here. What is this? Have you heard of the concept of collaterals? Let me know. Have you heard of concept of collateral? Collateral means what? Whenever any lender will give a loan, they will ask for security. Right? In return, they will ask for security. For example, you go to the bank today, apply for a housing loan. Bank says, okay, I will give you loan. But what is the security? right? Because if you take a loan and if you don't repay it, what should I do? Please give me a security. That is the reason, right? That is the reason you will provide certain assets. You will provide certain assets in the form of security to the bank, right? These are called as collaterals. These are called as collaterals. Now come to the point here. RBI will give a loan to the bank, and in return, bank will provide certain securities to RBI. And step two, let's say either 1 day, 7 day, whatever it is. Step two, right after the maturity period is over, the security or the bonds will be returned back by RBI, and the bank will pay the principal amount along with the interest. Now, this interest is basically calculated on repo rate. This interest is calculated upon repo rate. For example, I'll just show you simple calculation. Simple, by the way. It is not correct, right? But simple calculation. Let's say repo rate is 10%. Let's say repo rate is 10% and the loan given by RBI is 100 crore. Now, can I simply say after the maturity period is over, the bank will pay back 100 crore rupee plus a 10 crore rupee interest to RBI? Any problem? Any problem with the calculation? And I'm taking simple numbers, by the way. I'm not taking complex numbers. I'm taking very simple numbers. So repo rate is the rate of interest charged by RBI whenever they provide short-term loans to banking sector. This is a repo rate. Now, let me get into the technicals of repo rate. And this is in a simple way repo rate. But please understand this. There is a concept of repurchasing order. Books have not given this, but you understand it. Repo simply stands for repurchasing order. Do you understand the short form of repo here? Please do let me know. Do you know why this is called as a repo? Repurchasing order. The long form of repo is called as a repurchasing order. Now, what do you mean by repurchasing order? Let me define it. First, let me define it. Repurchasing order is basically an agreement between two parties. I repeat, it is an agreement or a contract. It is an agreement or a contract between two parties wherein one party, right, wherein one party sells certain assets to another party with the promise of repurchasing the asset at specific price on a specific date. I'll repeat the definition, right? Let me know. Right? What is repurchasing order? Repurchasing order is an agreement or a contract between two parties wherein one party will sell asset to another party with the promise of repurchasing the asset on a specific date at a specific price. Now, please look at a repo transaction that is given here. Please look at repo transaction which is given here. Bank is giving security to RBI, selling security assets to RBI with the promise of repurchasing those securities at 110 crore after 7 days. Is it okay? Let me know. I'll repeat it again. If this repo is done for 7 days, imagine if this repo is done for 7 days, can I say the transaction has happened like this? Today, bank is selling assets to RBI with the promise of repurchasing after 7 days at a specific price. Any problem why this is called as a repo? Let me know. Any problem why this is called as a repo now? Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Okay. Now, next one is reverse repo. Next one is reverse repo. Now, what is reverse repo? Exactly opposite. Under reverse repo, I'll write it separately. Under reverse repo, what is the first step? Under reverse repo, here is RBI. RBI will sell assets to a bank and collect money. Collect money from bank. This is step one. And let's say after 7 days, that will be step two. After 7 days, RBI will repurchase the assets. RBI will repurchase the assets from the bank and repay the money along with interest, that is at a specific price. This is a reverse repo. Any difficulty in understanding reverse repo? Don't say both are one and the same. Don't say both repo and reverse repo are one and the same. Absolutely no. In repo, RBI gives money to a bank. In reverse repo, RBI will take money from the bank. Now, please look at the definition. Can I say reverse repo? It is the rate of interest which is charged by the banks on the short-term loans given to Reserve Bank of India. And this is a common definition. But what exactly happens under the reverse repo? The bank will keep deposits with RBI. RBI will give securities to bank. And after the time period is over, 7 days, let's say, after 7 days are over, basically opposite transaction. RBI will repay the money along with the interest and take back assets from the bank. Some of you are asking what kind of assets are used? Government securities. Government securities. Government securities are used in the form of assets here. Any problem with the repo and reverse repo? Please do let me know. Any problem with the repo and reverse repo? What if a bank is unable to give security or assets in return? RBI will not give loan. And trust me, RBI has one more tool where the banks will have to keep government securities. I'll come to that. There is one more tool where banks will have to purchase government securities. They don't have any option. Any problem with this? Is this not come under direct monetization? What is direct monetization? You tell me. And that's the reason. Listen to the classes very carefully. What is direct monetization? Is it not between RBI and Government of India? Now you are talking about RBI and the bank, and you are saying direct monetization. How? And how? You don't even listen. That is a problem. You are not listening. Reverse repo, I'll repeat it again. Arey Baba, it's not difficult. Listen carefully. What is reverse repo? RBI is taking money from a bank and is paying interest to the bank. That's it. RBI takes money from the bank and gives money to the bank. That's it. What is the difficulty in this? What is the difficulty in this? Please do let me know. Those who are saying very difficult, tell me what is the point that you're finding it difficult. If I'm RBI, I will collect money from you and I'll give you government securities today. After 7 days is over, I will return the money back to you along with interest. Take the government securities back. That's it. That's reverse repo. Exactly opposite of what has happened in the repo. That is a basic idea. Don't complicate it. It's a very simple exercise. Right? It's a very simple exercise. Okay. So repo and reverse repo. Can we go forward now? Now, next point is, what if RBI does not have sufficient government securities to give to bank? Let me know. Right? What if RBI does not have sufficient government securities to give to a bank? Right? Because banks will keep a lot of money with RBI. Banks will keep a lot of money with RBI, and RBI has to return these. In return, has to give these assets. So what if RBI does not have sufficient assets, government securities to give to bank now? And before going forward, some of the students ask very interesting questions. Very interesting, without thinking, by the way. Please tell me, between repo rate and reverse repo rate, which rate of interest should be higher? What does your mind say? Think of it. Between repo and reverse repo rate, according to you, which rate of interest should be higher? Arey Baba, some of you are very, very dangerous. Some of you are very dangerous. Right, my dear, repo rate should be higher. Does it not make common sense? Please tell me, does it not even mean common sense to have a higher repo rate compared to higher reverse repo rate? Sir, how? I feel reverse repo rate should be higher. My dear, imagine you're a bank. Imagine you're RBI. You will charge a rate of interest under repo and you will pay a rate of interest under reverse repo. According to you, you will pay higher rate of interest compared to rate of interest you are collecting. Will you not incur losses there itself? Think of it, no? Just apply common sense and let me know. You are paying a rate of interest, you are collecting rate of interest. Your argument is, sir, the rate of interest that I pay should be more than rate of interest that I collect. Are you not incurring a loss because of that? Yes or no? Does it make sense or not? And if you're confused with this, then God help you if you enter into business. Right? If you're confused with this, God help you if you enter into business. Because you do not know a basic idea, your rate of interest that you charge should be greater than rate of interest that you pay. For example, even now if you're confused, you will go to a bank today, right? You will go to a bank, you will keep money in your savings bank account. One. Tomorrow you will go to the bank, take a housing loan. You will take a housing loan. Now please tell me, the rate of interest on the savings bank account is greater or on the housing loan is greater? Let me see. According to you, the bank will pay rate of interest on savings bank account and bank will collect rate of interest on the housing loan. According to you, rate of interest collected by the bank will be greater or rate of interest paid by the bank will be greater? Or some of you are very dangerous, Baba. Some of you are very, very dangerous. Sir, savings bank account rate of interest is greater than housing loan. Please tell me in which bank you have bank account. Let me know in which bank you have bank account and this bank is paying this much. Please do let me know. I will borrow money from somebody else in addition to my savings, put it there. My dear, how? How? Rate of interest on the housing loan will be greater than the rate of interest that the bank pays on savings bank account. And even now, you don't even understand. The bank will incur a loss, my dear. If they collect 4 rupees from you and pay 6 rupees to you, where is the bank earning profit? Right? Apply the same logic to RBI. Apply the same logic to RBI. Repo rate, RBI will collect. Reverse repo rate, RBI will pay. So don't you think repo rate should be greater than reverse repo rate? Sir, even this is not understandable. By heart it. Live it. By heart it. But this is my suggestion to you. Please do not enter into banking sector. This is my suggestion to those people who say, even now this is very, very difficult to comprehend. Do not enter into banking business. Right? You will incur a loss in the first month itself. Okay, let me go forward. Standing deposit facility. SDF, standing deposit facility. Now, what is a standing deposit facility? Earlier, if you remember, I told you one of the problems with reverse repo. What was the constraint or the problem with reverse repo? What if RBI does not have sufficient G securities to give to bank? Let me know. You as a bank, you will go to RBI and right, you want to keep deposit with RBI. But RBI says, sorry, I don't have sufficient G securities. So don't you think reverse repo rate will collapse because of that? RBI cannot be using reverse repo rate. That is the reason why RBI has introduced a new system by the name of Standing Deposit Facility, SDF. Standing Deposit Facility. Last year only this has been introduced. Now what will happen in a Standing Deposit Facility? Please observe here. Step 1, RBI will collect money, deposits from the bank. Step 2, let's say after 7 days, after 14 days. Step 2, RBI will return this money along with interest to the bank. So under the standing deposit facility, can I define it like this? It is a rate of interest. It is a rate of interest which is charged by the banks when they keep deposits with RBI for a very, very short duration. For very, very short duration. Now, don't say both reverse repo and standing deposit facility are one and the same. Observe it here. Is there any security provided by RBI under SDF? Let me know. Is there any security provided by RBI under SDF? No security, no collateral, no assets are given. That is the reason now SDF has been introduced as a new tool by Reserve Bank of India. Of course, to introduce the tool, Government of India first amended RBI Act. I hope you understand why Government of India amended RBI Act. Government of India first amended RBI Act of 1934, and after that allowed RBI to start using standing deposit facility. Standing deposit facility. Now, next important point. Whenever you come across the term standing deposit or standing, right? In case of banking, whenever you come across the term standing, it simply means that this facility is available throughout the year. Is it okay? I'll repeat the statement. Whenever under banking, you'll come across the term standing, right? In the name of the tool, it simply means this facility is available to the bank throughout the year. It is available throughout the year. Point number one. Can I give you one more example? Don't ask me the definition of the second one, but tell me, if I write marginal standing facility, if I use the name of a tool, marginal standing facility, tell me, can I say this facility is available throughout the year? Let me know. If I use one more tool and if I tell you, right, there is one more tool by the name of marginal standing facility. Because the term standing is there here, can I say this is available throughout the year? Some of you are saying no. Arey Baba. Right? What are you listening to? And do me a favor. Do me a favor for yourself, not for me. Do me a favor. After the class is over, this class video is available to you. Please play exactly at this point from 2 minutes prior. From 2 minutes, last 2 minutes, start playing it. What you will listen to is I saying, I shouting at my height of my voice, standing. Whenever you come across the term standing in the name of a tool, it simply means a facility is available throughout the year. I said, whenever you come across the term standing in a tool, it is available throughout the year. Then I said, what if I say there is one more tool by the name of marginal standing facility, and I asked you, does it mean, is it available throughout the year? I've not discussed it, I know that. Don't tell me, I know that. I've not discussed marginal standing facility, but my question to you people, is this tool available throughout the year? Even now, there are 2 students who say no. All the best to you 2 people. Right? Seriously now, all the best to both of you. Why is the term standing there in the name? How difficult is it? How difficult? What language am I using? Am I using Hebrew language? Am I using Urdu language? Am I using Persian language? Nothing. I said, if the term standing is there, simply means it is there throughout the year. Now, is the term standing there here? Is the term standing right there in the second tool that I've written? Yes. So, does it mean it is available throughout the year? Yes. It is available throughout the year. But what is the meaning of MSF? We'll discuss that tomorrow. Don't worry. We'll discuss that tomorrow. But I'm seriously concerned about some of the students in the classroom. Okay, I'm seriously concerned. Okay, why? They're not listening at all. Right? So what we will start doing is we'll start ignoring them now. Right? We will start ignoring them. So if you want to be considered to be a very serious candidate, please be serious in the classroom. Okay, focus on the discussion. So standing deposit facility, it is available throughout the year. It is available throughout the year. Now, point number 2, right? Understand the difference between the reverse repo rate and a standing deposit facility. STF is available throughout the year. Reverse repo rate, it is not available throughout the year. Reverse repo rate will only be available when RBI announces it. Is it okay? Right? The reverse repo rate will be available to the bank only when RBI says this is available to you. For example, today RBI might say, for the next 2 weeks, reverse repo rate is available, which means it is available only for 2 weeks. After that, not available. Maybe in the next month, again RBI will say reverse repo rate is available for next 15 days. So it is available only for those days. So argument is reverse repo rate is not available throughout the year. STF is available throughout the year. Point number 2, under reverse repo rate, RBI has to provide assets or collateral. Whereas STF, there are no assets or collateral. There are no assets or collateral provided by RBI. A simple question to all of you, please think of it. In one tool, RBI, if you are a bank, in one tool, RBI will provide you security. In the second tool, RBI will not provide you security. Will you demand a higher rate of interest under reverse repo rate or under STF? Please think of it. Please think of it. Right? You should make perfect economic sense. Right? Under reverse repo rate, RBI will provide you a security. Under STF, RBI will not provide you security. So obviously under STF, the rate of interest will be higher. The rate of interest will be higher. All of you agreed? Because there is no security provided. So under STF, right, the rate of interest would be higher. Right? So this is basically the concept of standing deposit facility. Let me prove it to you. Let me prove it to you. Please observe this graph. Do not by heart anything. Trust me, please do not by heart anything. Please observe this graph. Tell me, is STF rate of interest higher than reverse repo rate of interest? Observe, observe. Do not by heart. Observe. Is STF rate of interest higher than reverse repo rate of interest? This is the reverse repo rate of interest and this is the SDF rate of interest. Some of you are saying no. Great. Right? SDF rate of interest, is it not higher than reverse repo rate of interest? Answer is yes, my dear. And what about repo rate of interest? Right? Repo rate of interest, is it greater than reverse repo rate of interest? Yes. Is a repo rate of interest higher than SDF rate of interest? Again, answer should be yes, by the way. Even without this graph, answer should be yes. Right? So repo rate is higher. Below that, we have a STF. Below that, we have reverse repo rate of interest. Right? So these are the three tools, the first three tools. Let me go to the next one. Let me go to the next one. Bank rate. Let me go to the next one. The concept of, right, bank rate. What is a bank rate? Bank rate, it is the rate of interest charged by RBI on the loans given to commercial bank. On the loans that RBI will provide to the commercial banks. And please understand, there is no tenure mentioned here. No tenure mentioned here. Don't say, sir, repo rate is also the same thing. Here, generally, the loans are given for longer duration and medium duration. So the rate of interest charged by RBI on the loans given to commercial banks, that is called as a bank rate. And moreover, please observe and tell me, right, is there a concept of absence of securities here? Absence of assets here, right, compared to the concept of repo rate. So this is the bank rate. This is the bank rate. This is basically the concept of bank rate. It is the rate of interest charged by RBI on the loans given to commercial bank. Right. Step 1, RBI will give loan. Step 2, bank will return the loan along with the interest. This is basically bank rate. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. Now think of it and tell me, bank rate and repo rate. Think logically. Bank rate and repo rate, which should be higher? Let me know. Bank rate and repo rate, according to your right analysis, which should be higher? All of you will agree, sir, bank rate should be higher. Arey Baba. How repo rate should be higher? You tell me. How repo rate should be higher? Here you are giving loan for a longer duration. Here you are not collecting securities. Don't you think it makes common sense argument to keep a bank rate higher than repo rate? Anybody has a problem? Anybody has a problem with this? There were certain students who said repo rate should be higher. How? What is your argument? You tell me. You are giving a loan for a longer duration. You are right not collecting securities. Should you not charge more rate of interest? Right? How? What is your analysis? What is your analysis? Focus. Right? Please be focused in the classroom. I've not discussed MSF. I'll discuss that. Have patience. I'm only saying, I've not discussed. I'll discuss. Have patience. Okay, now let me go to the next one. Statutory liquidity ratio. In short, SLR. In short, SLR, statutory liquidity ratio. Now, to understand statutory liquidity ratio, you need to understand one more term called as net demand and time liabilities. Net demand and time liabilities. I'll go to previous slide. Please don't worry. Now, let me explain one concept to you. Let me explain a concept. In case of a bank, can I say bank will collect deposits and the deposits have to be returned to the depositor by the bank? Anybody has a problem with this? I'll repeat it. In case of a bank is collecting deposits, let's say from you. I'm a bank. I will collect a deposit. I will have to give it back to you. All of you will agree. Along with interest, I will have to return the deposit to you. Now, because I will have to return this money, I will call the deposits as liabilities. Any problem with this? I hope you understand this. I'll repeat it. Banks will collect a deposit and they will have to return it. And because I'll have to return it, can I call the deposits as liabilities for a bank? Liabilities for a bank. On the other side, bank will provide a loan to a customer. Bank will provide a loan to the customer and collect interest along with the principal. Collect the interest along with the principal. Now can I say the loans are assets for the bank? Anybody has a problem? Please do let me know right now. Deposits are collected, given back, hence liabilities for a bank. Loans are given along with principal, interest is earned by the bank, hence loans are assets for the bank. Now, let me enter into one more concept here. Whenever you talk about deposits in a bank, the deposits are of two types. The deposits are of two types. One is called as a time deposit. Second one is called as a demand deposit. One is called as a time deposit. Second one is called as a demand deposit. Right? What is a time deposit? In time deposit, for certain number of days, money will be kept with the bank. For example, fixed deposit. For certain number of days, money will be kept with the bank. Fixed deposit. Second, in case of demand deposit, money can be withdrawn. Money can be withdrawn whenever it is demanded by the customer. Very simple. Whenever you demand the money, bank will allow you to withdraw the money. That is basically a demand deposit. Can I say savings bank account is an example of this? Let me know. Savings bank account is an example of a demand deposit. So now, please get the sum total of a fixed deposit as well as a demand deposit and adjust with the interbank deposit, that is called as net demand and time liabilities. Net demand and time liabilities. Any problem in this? I'll repeat it again. You take the sum total of the time deposit as well as the demand deposit, and from this subtract. There is a component called as interbank deposit. What do you mean by interbank deposit? One bank, right? One bank will keep a deposit with another bank. I repeat, one bank will keep a deposit with another bank. These are called as interbank deposits. Interbank deposits. Now, many of you ask me, sir, why will one bank keep money with another bank? Why will one bank keep deposit with another bank? I'll give a very simple example. Earlier, I gave you the idea. I did not discuss completely, but I gave you an idea of payment bank. Do you remember this? I gave you a term called as a payment bank. Now, one of the conditions of payment bank is that they will have to keep certain amount of deposits, 25%. they will have to keep certain amount of deposits, that is 25% with other banks. They will have to keep 25% of their deposits with another bank. Now, please tell me, such deposits, can I call it as an interbank deposit? Let me know, right? Can I call these deposits as interbank deposits? So, you take the sum total of time deposit plus demand deposit. From that, subtract interbank deposit. What you get is NDTL, net demand and time liabilities. Net demand and time liabilities. Can we go forward now? Can we go forward? Right, one student is asking, does the bank give rate of interest on the demand deposit? You tell me, my dear, do you have savings bank account? Yes or no? Do you have savings bank account? On the savings bank account, are you earning interest? Of course, yes. Any money that you keep with the savings bank account in the form of a demand deposit, bank will give you the interest rate. Right? You will earn interest rate on this. Now come to SLR. Come to SLR. NDTL is done. Come to SLR. It is a percentage of NDTL. It is a percentage of NDTL that the banks will have to keep with themselves. Understand the definition here. It is the percentage of NDTL that the banks will have to keep with themselves only, in the form of cash, in the form of gold, in the form of government securities. Any problem with this? Any problem with the statement? It is a percentage of NDTL that the banks will have to keep with themselves only. They will have to keep with themselves, with them only, either in the form of cash, in the form of gold, or in the form of government securities. Can we go forward now? Any problem? Can we go forward? Why bank will give interest on demand deposit? Why shouldn't the bank give? Arey Baba, what kind of question is this? Some of you are simply asking question for the sake of asking questions. Don't do that. Don't disturb the class. Don't ask for the sake of asking. You keep 100 rupee in your savings bank account. Shouldn't the bank give you interest rate on this? What logic is this? Right? Simply wasting time. So cash, gold or approved securities, that is government securities, the bank will keep with themselves. That is basically the concept of statutory liquidity ratio. Now, let me ask you a question with all of you. Imagine a bank has collected 100 crore. Understand this carefully. Imagine a bank has collected 100 crore and let's say SLR is 20%. SLR is 20%. Okay. Now, which means out of 100 crore, bank has to keep 20 crore rupee in the form of cash, in the form of gold, in the form of government securities. Now, please tell me, if you are this bank, which of the three would you prefer? Let me know. If these are the three options available for you, which of the three would you prefer? Which makes more sense for you to maintain this 20 crore rupee in? My dear, please choose government securities. Please choose government securities. I'll prove it why. You can keep it in the form of a cash. Some of you are choosing cash. Very good. You choose cash. Please tell me, will you earn any returns on the cash? Let me know. Will you earn any returns on the cash? You have collected people's money. You have collected depositors' money. And you're simply keeping 20 crore rupee cash. Will you earn any interest on it? Why will you keep it? Why will you keep it then? What about gold? Gold is a good investment. But don't you think gold investment is very risky? Think of it. Don't you think investing in gold by a bank? Of course, I'm talking about a bank, not you. By a bank to keep your money in the form of gold, don't you think it is very risky? Because the gold prices are very volatile. Today it is, right, let's say 45,000 rupees. Tomorrow it might increase to 50. Day after tomorrow it can fall up to 43 also. Very risky investment. So what is left out now? Which is very safe Think of it, which is very safe, where guaranteed returns are there, where banks can easily sell government bonds in the market, which is very safe, government securities. That is the reason under SLR, the banks prefer government securities. Is the logic okay? Earlier, there was one student, right? There was one student who was asking, what if the bank does not have government securities? I told there is one tool under which banks will have to keep money in government securities. Now, all of you will agree when I say banks will keep some of their money that they have collected, right, basically in the form of government securities. Any problem with this? Any problem? Can we go forward? Right? Can we go forward? Should we remember SLR and CRR currently? Please don't by heart it. Right? Again, numbers don't by heart it, because by the time you write the exam, numbers might change. RBI might change it. Now, next important point is whenever you talk about SLR, right? SLR is a part of reserve requirement. Remember this. SLR is a part of reserve requirement. Reserve requirement, there are two types of reserve requirements. Generally, we use the concept of statutory reserves or variable reserves. There's a term called as statutory reserves, right, or variable reserves, right? So reserves are of two types. One is SLR, second one is CRR. I'll discuss CRR next. So under SLR, some of the deposits that the bank will collect, they will have to keep it with themselves. Let me go to CRR now. Let me go to CRR, cash reserve ratio. What is cash reserve ratio? Percentage of NDTL. Percentage of NDTL that the banks will have to keep with RBI. Understand the difference between both SLR and CRR. Both are part of variable reserves. Both are part of statutory reserves in India. But in case of SLR, it is percentage of NDTL that the bank will keep with itself. Whereas in case of CRR, it will keep it with RBI. It will keep this money with Reserve Bank of India. Percentage of NDTL that the bank will keep it with RBI. That is called as cash reserve ratio. Now, if you ask me, sir, what is the use of these types of ratios? Why do we use these kind of reserve ratios? Answer is very simple. Can I say bank, right? Understand this. Bank, if these kind of reserves are not there, they will take a higher risk by giving all the money in the form of loans. Let me know, right? Please understand this, right? Banks, don't you think they will take a higher amount of risk by using all of these deposits by giving loan to a borrower? Can it happen? I'll give you a very, very extreme case scenario. Imagine a bank is there. They will collect money from the depositor and will give this all of this money to a company such as Kingfisher. Now, what if Kingfisher will close down? Who will repay the money to the bank? Now, where will the money have the money? Where will the bank have the money to repay to the customers? So, I hope you understand. They want to ensure that RBI wants to ensure that certain deposits are not put into risky businesses. They want to safeguard the interest of the depositors. They want to safeguard the interest of the depositors. And second one, can also say RBI by using these kind of tools can adjust how much loans will be created in the system. Think of it. RBI by using such types of reserves, can RBI create more loans, create lesser loans in the system? For example, let me take a very simple example. What if SLR is increased? Think of it. What if SLR is increased? If SLR is increased, don't you think more deposits you will keep with yourself? You will give lesser loans in the market. I hope you understand this. If SLR is increased, you will keep more of the deposit with yourself. You will give or you will have lesser money to create loans in the market, and vice versa. So RBI will use these kind of tools either to increase or decrease, right, credit creation, or it will also simply say, I want to ensure there is a safety of depositors' money. That is the reason I want you to keep money with yourself and also with me. These are the two types of variable reserve requirements, or else These are also referred to as statutory reserve requirements. One is CRR, second one is SLR. Now, let me discuss last point for today. Last point. There is a term called as negative carry on CRR. Negative carry on CRR, right, or cost of CRR. Understand this very carefully. There's a term called as negative carry on CRR or cost of CRR. What is the meaning of it? Follow this example. Imagine here is a bank, right? Let's say A. A will collect a deposit of 100 crore rupees from a depositor. From a depositor B. Now, right, out of this, let's say CRR is 10%. Out of this, let's say CRR is 10%, which means out of 100 crore, the bank has to take aside 10 crore rupees deposit with the Reserve Bank of India. Next important point, RBI, I repeat, RBI does not pay any interest on this 10 crore rupee. I'll repeat it, right? RBI does not pay any interest. RBI will not pay even a single rupee as interest on this CRR. You can keep 10 crore under CRR, 100 crore under CRR, or 10,000 crore, right, in the form of CRR. No interest shall be paid by RBI. But have a look at the next point. Understand this carefully. Have a look at the next point. You have collected, that is, let's say, Bank A. Bank A has collected 100 crore rupee. Don't you think Bank A will pay interest on the full 100 crore rupee to the customer? Simple. Bank A will pay interest on the full value of 100 crore rupee. On the other side, some of you are saying no. I don't know what to do now. Okay, I'll go forward then. Bank on the other side will not be earning interest on 100 crore, can earn only on 90 crore rupees. Any problem in understanding two statements? I'll repeat the statements by the way. Bank will pay interest on full 100 crore rupee, but on the other hand, bank will not be earning any interest on 10 crore, will be earning only on the remaining 90 crore rupee. Right? Now, don't you think, out of this 100 crore rupee, you have this 10 crore rupee, which means bank is paying, understand this carefully, bank is paying interest on the 10 crore rupee CRR to customer. I repeat, bank is paying interest on this 10 crore CRR to the customer, but it is not earning anything. Can I call this interest paid on 10 crore as a negative carry or cost of CRR? Let me know, does it make sense to you? I'll repeat it again. Out of this 100 crore, 10 crore is CRR. Bank takes this 10 crore, keeps it with RBI. But bank will pay interest to the customer on 90 crore plus 10 crore rupee. So now can I say, on one side, bank does not earn anything on this 10 crore, but bank will pay interest on the 10 crore to the customer. I will call that interest as a negative carry or cost of CRR. Anybody has a problem? Anybody has a problem regarding this? That is a very simple concept, right? It will not earn, but it will pay interest. Hence, this is called as cost or negative carry on CRR. So these are certain very important points regarding certain instruments, right? Certain instruments under monetary policy tools. Now, please make an observation. Please make an observation. We have covered all the tools under quantitative. Anybody has a problem with this? Right, we have covered all the tools under quantitative. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. Take any of the tools. Can you specifically target agriculture sector? Let me know. Take any of the tools under quantitative. Can you specifically target agriculture sector? Some of you are saying yes. How? Please tell me. Please tell me how. Because I have not given any example, but you are creating examples. Tell me how. You cannot specifically target sectors under quantitative. Overall money supply in the economy will go up or go down, right? That is basically quantitative, right? That is the reason I've written here the regulation, that is the regulation in the whole economy, either money will go up or money supply will go down. That is quantitative. There is one more name for this. This is called as general method. That is the reason this is referred to as a general method. Quantitative is also referred to as general methods. Okay. Now next one is a qualitative. I'll take it up tomorrow. Qualitative, I'll take it up tomorrow. But the last point for you people. After that, I'll take up questions. Last point. There's a tool by the name of MSF, Marginal Standing Facility. I've written it. I'll go to that slide only. There's a tool by the name of Marginal Standing Facility. What do you mean by marginal standing facility? A bank is allowed to borrow only for overnight purposes. Very, very short duration. A bank is allowed to borrow only for a short duration, very, very short duration, such as overnight purposes, under marginal standing facility from RBI. Is it okay? Under MSF, only for one night, only for overnight, 1 day purposes, bank is allowed to borrow from RBI. Now, many of you will ask me, sir, why? Why will the bank borrow only for 1 day? Let me ask you a very simple question. What if you're falling short in terms of SLR? Let me know. Today, what if, right, there is a shortage of 1 crore rupee under SLR? Right? Don't you think tomorrow, anyways, you will adjust it? But today, right, today, the day, before the day is over, you require 1 more crore rupee? Yes or no? Anybody has a problem with this? Right? Under SLR, you are falling short by 1 crore rupee. Right? So by the day you close the account, right? By the time you close the account books, you require additional 1 crore rupee. So can you borrow from RBI only for 1 day purposes? Only for 1 day purposes. Right? Right? In order to meet these conditions? Any problem here? But sir, you had said that a term standing refers to 1 year period. Where? Arey Baba, where did I say 1 year period? I said it is available throughout the year. You're not listening. You're absolutely not listening to what I'm discussing. Where did I say standing means 1 year? I said standing means throughout the year. Is there no difference between throughout the year and 1 year? That basic English language now. It simply means you are weak even in English. Standing means it is available throughout the year. Right? So under marginal standing facility, right, you will be allowed to borrow. You'll be allowed to borrow only for 1 day purposes. Only for overnight purposes. Now, please tell me, if you are mismanaging, if you are not able to calculate how much money you require, and in emergency you want to borrow from RBI only for 1 day, don't you think RBI will penalize you for that? Let me know. Last point. Right? Don't you think because you're mismanaging and because of that you want to borrow only for 1 day, don't you think RBI will penalize you for that? Of course, yes. That is the reason. Please remember this. Last point now. The marginal standing facility rate will be greater than repo rate. Please observe now. Last point. The marginal standing facility rate will be greater than repo rate. Right? Because RBI says, I will impose a penal rate of interest. I will penalize you now. Right? So because you're mismanaging your finances, pay higher than repo rate. That is marginal standing facility rate. Okay? Done. Right? Done. Today we are done with right the quantitative set of tools. Let me go to the next qualitative tomorrow morning. Let me go to right a quantitative, let's say qualitative tomorrow morning. Okay? Now, any questions? Any question? Under STF can borrow from private entities. My dear, STF is a tool which is available between bank and RBI. Between bank and RBI. Okay. And there's one comment which says, sir, you directly go to right the silly comments directly and do not address my question. I'm asking you now, what is your question? Please type it. And point number 2, As far as I'm concerned, I will be worried about weaker students in the classroom. I'll be frank with you. I'm worried about weaker students. That's the reason I keep on asking you question. Have you understood? Say yes or no. Any doubt? What should you think should happen? So that I can address it then and there itself. Okay. Can we leave? Right? Yes. If you do not have any questions, please leave. Bank rate. What is bank rate? Bank rate is basically rate of interest where RBI will give loan and charge rate of interest. That's it. RBI will give loan to a bank and charge a rate of interest on it. That is bank rate. Sir, instead of operation twist, could RBI have resorted to qualitative measures by reducing interest rate on loans specifically for producers? Please understand, this was done, right? This was done. Many tools were used, right? Not just one tool, many tools were used in the last 2 years by RBI. Okay. Money multiplied, tomorrow we'll discuss, don't worry. Windfall taxation are only levied on petroleum products. As of now, only on petroleum products, because Government of India says this is the area where right the companies are earning windfall profit. That is the reason only in petroleum products or fuel products we have windfall taxes. Could you please confirm or correct if loan under bank rate will not have collateral? Generally, they do not provide collaterals under this, right, bank rate. Because please understand the difference here. Under repo is a contract. All of you will agree? Repo is a contract. Repo is an agreement, right? A bank rate is basically a lending rate. Let me know if it is okay with you. I'm using two statements. Repo is a contract. Repo is an agreement. Whereas a bank rate is a lending rate. Any problem? No answer from your side. Okay. Sir, face value 100, interest rate is 6%, market value is less. Is better to yield value? If you're asking a question, understand this. Market prices will keep on changing. Coupon rate is 6 rupees fixed on 100 rupee. Market price will change, hence a yield rate will change. Demand deposits. Demand deposits simply means under demand deposits, the money, right, that is a depositor can withdraw the money whenever they want. Right? Whenever, right, there is a demand, right, the bank will allow you to withdraw it. Okay. What is the design mechanism? You don't have to understand that, right? There's a process followed. All you need to understand is RBI will prepare a design, send it to Government of India. After the approval, they will start printing it. RBI has a lot of money, so RBI can give money to government without printing money. Then why did you say that? Okay. Even without printing money, my dear, please understand the logic behind it. Even if RBI doesn't print money and gives money which is already printed, don't you think that money which was not there for circulation will come into circulation now? Think of it. Think logically. Your argument is RBI has money. So, if RBI doesn't print money and use the same money to give it to government, right, it should not lead to problem. My dear, RBI, right, basically is not involved in the market like you and me. But if RBI will give that money to Government of India, will it not increase the money circulation? That will lead to inflationary trend. Okay, done. So let me stop the discussion today here. Let me stop the discussion.